Remembers what happened last time.
We came to the city.
Yeah, we went to the city
We
and
bought a room for 5 pieces of gold.
oh yeah, we bought
All right. So pretty much, long story short, you guys made it to the city of Aegis, which was uh, the Order of Fate is what they're called. Their kind of safe zone island. You met you met back up with Vex, and he took you into the city, and you met Adam Tweed, the kind of leader of the Order of Fate presence on the island. They've been rescuing other survivors and refugees from Onhef that were kind of either teleported here like you were or left refugees from the Lich's kind of destructive magical power. And you talked to him a little bit, got the rundown, and then you all kind of retired to your rooms in the inn just because you had obviously been through a lot of shit in the last couple weeks of your travels, dungeons, slavery, like probably needed a good rest. And we'll start off today with you all awakening, and you awaken in the inn and you smell like, for the first time in weeks and weeks, you smell like delicious, like hot cooking food. And you all get awakened to like the smell of eggs and bacon and like real actual food cooked in this inn. And you all kind of slowly like wake up, and it's the first time you haven't had to just like, like jar yourselves awake and get into either the pit, or you're sleeping on a ship that's tossing and turning and getting attacked by dragons and all sorts of crazy stuff. And you just kind of relaxed, get out of your rooms and get dressed and get ready for the day. And you walk out into the main hall of the inn where you met Tweeds, and there was all these tables, and like people were sitting on these like different colorful pillows around short tables and drinking different tea and beverages, and this like really cool like Middle Eastern style inn with like the marble columns and like the walls made out of like old ruins and sand and stuff like that. And you see the person who was the barkeep slash like innkeeper who sold you the rooms last night was they're behind in this kitchen area cooking up food for everyone. And another little like dwarf woman is passing out some of the plates around, and you see one of the plates go over to this table, and you recognize Adam Tweed, Vex, and Elder and Kit are actually sitting there, and they're all having breakfast together. And as soon as you all walk out into the hall, they wave over to you and kind of beckon you over to the table and call for you. And Kit gets really excited to see all of you, that you finally returned, and they're yelling for you to come over and join them for breakfast.
Kit, my boy.
He like jumps out of his chair and kind of like clacks it around on the ground, and it rattles around, and he comes up and like starts to like try to hug it all of you guys, and he's like, oh, it's so good to see everyone made it back. It's been such a crazy
Growing at least 3 centimeters.
such a crazy journey. And he's like, oh yeah. And he when you say that, he actually like kind of puffs out his chest a little bit, and he pulls out a sword from behind his back, and he's like kind of flourishes it around like he thinks he's like some cool swordsman, even though he still, it like looks like it's heavy and it throws him off balance a little bit. He's like, I've been training. And Elder turns around and kind of like laughs at him a little bit, and he's like, put that thing away inside, boy. And he like puts it back on his back, and he's like laughs and just kind of runs back over to the table and waves you guys over. And around the table you can see a lot of the paperwork and books and different things that Tweed was studying the night before. They're still around, and then there's the plates of food, and they're all kind of talking, and you can tell it's they're cheerful and having this nice breakfast, but there's still like a serious tone about things. And you can see all of the people that you recognize, and then you see in the corner, and now that you are like fully awake and out into this main hall, you can see that this woman who is probably as tall as Chad. Like, how tall are you, Chad? Like 7 feet tall or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seven.
Yeah. So
Seven.
this woman standing in the corner on the opposite side of the table next to Vex and Tweed. She is this like 7.5 foot tall, very dark skinned woman with a spear on her back, and you can see there's no chair that she would be sitting in. She has like centaur body. There is this like crazy imposing, like she looks like some like tribal like African warrior almost, but it's like this centaur woman, and she's like no nonsense like chatting with Vex and Tweed about some of the materials that they have laid out on the table, and every once in a while she like reaches out one of these like giant like slender fingered hands and grabs some of the like food off of the table and just like scarfs it down really quick, and they're all chatting, and Elder says, pull up a seat, boys. It's good to see all of you. Welcome back. We're kind of in the middle of some war planning, you could say, but take a load off, eat some good food, and get your energy back before you get into the middle of this.
You ever rode a horse, Chad?
What's that?
When you say that, Darrow, this woman looks up, and with like a very serious tone, she says, I know that you didn't just call me a horse, and then laughs, and Vex like he looks he looks really nervous, but he like laughs when she does, and it's like one of those movie scenes where the person laughs but then the minions start laughing and then the person gets silent. And she laughs a little bit, and she says, maybe you haven't seen my kind before. It's I'm not surprised. I might be the last one of us in on Hef. We're one of the few native tribes to this land. We evolved after the Lich's explosion in the Forgotten Realms.
You're not on Discord anymore.
What's that?
Okay.
Hello?
You are not talking on Discord anymore.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's weird. It said I was in there still, but then it wasn't working. But she explains that it's not surprising if you haven't seen one of her tribe before. They're very rare. They evolved on Hef after the Lich's magic like destroyed the realm, and there was very few of them originally, and then once the Lich's power killed so many people, she was the last one of her tribe left, and she found Vex on one of his scouting missions while she was just out surviving and looking for civilization, and came back here. And Vex pipes up and says, we're very lucky to have Zadera. And she kind of stiffens up and like looks proud when he says her name. And Vex says she's quite the tactician and a great general for our plans of killing the Lich. And when Vex says that, Tweed says, well, I suppose it's as good a time as any. Men, get your breakfast and settle in, and then we'll discuss our plans of attack here. I know that we discussed the plan of you all going and clearing out the ruins that we need to build our new base of operations, which we still need you to do as soon as possible, but beforehand we'll at least fill you in on as much as we know. And Tweed says, have you all learned anything about Onhef or the Lich or anything during your travels? What do you know so far?
Chad's still looking at the centaur lady, trying to make sense of her story. You evolved? Did you evolve from a human or evolve from a horse?
She like gets this like really like silly look and is like, as far as we know, when the destruction happened to Faerun in this timeline, because of the Lich's powers, many different races that you would normally think occurred naturally in Faerun mutated, and it's been thousands of years, and as far as the stories of our tribe go, we descended from a horse god, but it seems to just be some type of mutation. We've seen it in several other creatures. It's hard to explain, she says, but you more or less you got it.
Oh, I never would have guessed.
Kind of like those dogs we
Damn.
saw with the two heads.
When you say that, Vex pops up and he says, "That is something else entirely, and that is still has to do with the Lich's magic, but not quite." And Tweed says, "Well, because of all of the resources and books and like writings that Vex has found, we've been able to piece together a bit of the story of what happened here, but more importantly, we believe that we might have a long shot chance at actually taking this guy down and fixing things and bringing this land back into the fold of the normal material plane and giving the citizens of this world a chance at a normal and peaceful reality and going back to our normal lives. And we think we have a good plan to do this. We just need time, and we need a base of operations to kind of figure out our plans from. But I can tell you now, I do have a couple more things to look over in my research here," Tweed says. "But we know how to kill this Lich, and we know that it's possible. We just need a little bit more time to figure out exactly the specifics of it, but we're working on it. If you all would like to go and get started on the mission that we gave you, then maybe by this afternoon or within the next day or two, we'll have the details ironed out, and we can send you off on the next step of the process." And Zadera speaks up and says, "Make no mistake, I am a warrior first, but if you need anything, I do have a bazaar set up in the city where you may find some of the things that we've collected of use." And just meta really quick, she has a magic store, and this is going to be the first opportunity in the game for you to go and spend your money, buy magic items, potions, that kind of stuff. And then if you have anything that you want that it doesn't immediately come up, you can bring that up, and then she may be able to find them or have Vex go out and scout for them and see if he can find anything. So well, if you want, on your way to go and do the quest, you can stop by the bazaar and do some shopping.
I think we're all gonna do that, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
I
have a
need to
dragon
use
egg,
me
right?
money.
When
What
you
about that?
so when you say that, Darrow, Zadera says, "Can I see that? Hand that here, please."
Be careful with my son, okay?
And you're on the other end of the table, sitting there next to like Elder and Kit, and she like reaches this like long, slender arm out and like all the way across the table practically, and grabs the dragon egg and like holds it up into the light, and it's like sparkling and almost see-through, and you can start to see like some swirling like substance inside of the crystal of the egg, but it's super solid. And she says, "Yes, that is indeed a dragon egg. These things, they grow quickly. A few weeks probably before this thing will be on the loose. You have to be careful with this."
We have to hit him before.
I'll stab you.
She says, "This thing could be a powerful ally in the fight against the Lich if you raise it
Yeah,
correctly."
It's my boy. He'll respect me. Or daughter. Or chatter. Gender is a thing with dragons.
You choose your gender if you're a dragon.
Ah. We'll ask him once he or her. It. Once he gets there. She gets there. It
I
gets
chose
there.
to be a Chad.
Zadera hands the egg back and says, give me some time, and make sure you remind me before that thing hatches. But I'll try to find you some research on the proper care and treatment of a juvenile dragon, so you can raise that thing to be the formidable ally that we need, and a good friend to you as well. And she says that if you raise it correctly, it could be like essentially like a combat pet and a mount. And then she grabs one more like roll and slice of meat that's been cooked and sitting on the table, and she scarfs them down really quick and says, well, I'm off to the tent. It's in the middle of town, and if you look on the map on the stream, it's that little orange tent like right in the middle on the left side of the map, in the middle of that like kind of group of tents and stuff. And she heads out and says, Tweed, it was good talking to you. Thanks for the breakfast. I will be back later to finalize the plans we've been discussing, and I will give these guys a little bit of information about the clearing and what we need out of the stronghold. So we'll talk to you later. And they all kind of wave Zadara off, and she heads out. And when she like fully backs away from the table, you can see that she's like this like giant, almost like warhorse looking thing. Like she is 7 feet tall or more at the top of her head, but the like horse body itself comes up a good 4 or 5 feet off the ground, and it's just like towering, and she has to like duck under the door to get out of this building. And she has this huge spear, and like the horse part of her body is like all armored, and this very imposing figure, but everyone in the building is kind of not fazed by it. They're pretty used to it by now. And as she leaves, Tweed says, I'll give you the quick rundown before we meet back up this afternoon to discuss the final plans, but essentially, what do you all know about liches? And he kind of turns to the three of you and wants to know what you know.
One time my mom told me a story that there was like a bad wizard dude who didn't want to live anymore, and then he put himself in a juice box, and then that was the end of the story.
Tweed says, you know more than most, honestly. That's not a bad start. And he says, anything from the two of you?
Strong in skeletons.
Yeah, they're skeletons.
Tweed,
but you can steal their clothes?
Tweed says, yeah, you probably could. Yeah, that's definitely a thing you could do. They are strong, and they do have something to do with skeletons. And he says, liches are, like your friend Chad said here, powerful wizards who they either couldn't find what they needed in their corporeal living forms, or their power grew to be too much, or they needed extra power, and they chose to imbue their soul into some great magical artifact and become an immortal, undead, like embodiment of evil magic itself. And
wait, I think there's no good lich.
He said it's possible, but just the process of becoming a lich taints the mind with this powerful magic so much that almost every time the people go insane and just go on this power crazed rampage, just trying to get more and more and more power. There are stories of ancient times liches having a good side, but it's very rare, and it's almost certainly the one that we're dealing with here. There's nothing good about him as far as we can tell. He did practically kill half of the population of Onhef that was already dwindling. And he explains, so what we're dealing with here, there's a couple of different names in the text that we found. He goes by the Rust King, the Rust Lich. He was a powerful wizard in our homeland of Faerun who thousands of years ago in this timeline tried to take over, and in the process of both turning himself to a lich and trying to cast a massive, like, charming, destructive spell on the entire land, it went wrong, and the goddess of fate, Istis, the goddess that my order is a part of and worships, stepped in and intervened and caused this lich to split off the timeline and created Anhef for his destructive reign to rule over without harming the regular material plane. And the Rust Lich has been dormant, gaining power ever since. And luckily, we think that the most recent outburst that kind of zombified and skelefied most of the people that you saw, we think that he used a very substantial amount of power to do that. So he shouldn't be able to do that again, although he still does have the power of any normal, extremely high power magical being, if you understand what I'm getting at. Once he gathers enough power, he can use these massive shows of strength and these massive powerful spells, but it takes time, and he just uses these pawns and his necromantic creatures to do his bidding while he gains power. And as with all liches, their soul and their power is hidden in their magical artifact, and that item is called a phylactery. And we believe, as far as I can see in these ancient texts that have been written about the lich, he does have a phylactery, but he keeps everything in his own little pocket dimension, kind of like the one that this island is in. I think given enough time, I should be able to find it, but it's going to take time and work and a lot of energy and resources. But we've also found in these writings that there are 3 ancient artifacts that we don't know what exactly they are, but these stories tell of 3 artifacts that could assist in the destruction of any greater evil being, and they must be sought out by a party looking to destroy an oppressive evil force, and the artifacts will make themselves attuned to them. And these books that Vex has found for us so luckily, we have an idea about where they might be, but we still don't know what they are or how it's going to be, how hard it's going to be to find them, essentially. So when we come back and reconvene this afternoon for our official war plan, I guess, I should have a better idea once I pour over this last book here that Vex has found. But we'll have a couple of different options, and we'll let you kind of put in your input, as you all have some pretty good experience with adventuring at this point. So if you would be so kind as to go meet back up with Zadera and equip yourselves with whatever necessities you desire, and then head off to clear out the ruins, then I think we'll be ready to go.
Yeah, one more thing. While
Certainly.
we're out doing all these duties and stuff, could I pay a couple of Chads to build my own Chad pad? Since we're gonna be here for a while.
Tweed kind of he's thrown off by your language, and he's thinking for a second, and he's kind of like stroking his face, and he says, I think what you're getting at is you want your own keep, right?
Yeah.
He says, maybe if you find in the ruins enough room for us to expand upon our base of operations, then I think that we could probably figure out something like that.
Cool.
Just
That works.
see what you find, and then report back, and we'll do as much as we can to make that happen.
Sounds like a plan.
And
Let's head over to the tent, guys.
I have a meta question.
Yeah, go for it.
Did we level up last time?
Yeah. If you didn't already level up to level 5, we can do it right now.
Alright, yeah, I have to do that. I see I rolled for HP, so I guess I have that.
Cool. Yeah, let's do it. Do you want to just go through it? I'll do it on my end, and you can just tell me what to do, or do you want to do it?
You can go ahead and do it. It's up to you.
Cool.
Yeah, go ahead and do it.
All right. Character Mancer. All right, go into level 5. So you rolled for your HP?
Yeah, I got 6, which is amazing.
Nice. Better than the average, so that's good. All right. Let's see here. Anything else? Features. When you reach 5th level, you regain all your expended uses of Bardic Inspiration when you finish a short or long rest. That's pretty cool. So now that you know with your Bardic Inspiration and you have that magic item, every time that you give someone inspiration, it automatically will heal them for one of their hit die. And now that you regain all of your uses on a short rest, you should really start pumping out those inspirations just as like a meta tip, you know, like even if people don't end up using them all, it's essentially you're just getting like a shitload of free healing, you know?
Yeah, I gotta remember that now.
Cool. So you got that, and then no ability score increase or anything, but you do get access to some new spells, it looks like. Let's see here. You now get... what does it say?
Tasha's Hideous Laughter.
That's actually a really good spell.
What is that?
We can read it here. I think it, like, essentially paralyzes somebody with, like, how hard it makes them laugh, if that makes any sense. Let me look it up.
Sounds pretty cool. Tiny Hut.
That one's pretty good too. Okay, Hideous Laughter. A creature of your choice that you can see within range perceives everything as hilariously funny and falls into fits of laughter. They must succeed on a wisdom save or become incapacitated and unable to stand up. So that's really good because it knocks them over essentially and they can't do anything. And then if someone is prone, you automatically get advantage on attacking them. So that's pretty good. But so you can swap out any of your spells if you want to do that. And you also now have access to level 3 spells. So, let me pull that up on the screen here. I'm sorry, I didn't have that pulled up. So if you can see this list here, everything that you have access to at level 3, any of those look interesting or like you want to learn more about, then we can do that.
Are you a medium creature, Chad?
All player characters and most humanoid enemy characters are medium size.
Am I medium?
You, I believe, are small.
Do you guys want the hut so we can rest when we want to?
So Liamon's tiny hut. Let me see.
What does it do?
It's pretty cool. Let me pull it up really quick.
Sounds badass.
It kind of like pops up a free little hut that you can go into and rest. Let me see if I can see what exactly. A 10-foot radius,
awesome.
immobile dome of force springs into existence and remains stationary. 9 creatures of medium size or smaller can fit inside, and it's like pretty much impenetrable, and it lasts for up to 8 hours. So you can go in, and it pretty much makes you a free, like, safe space to rest. Like if you're in a dungeon and you find a room that's cleared out, you can pop up this tiny hut, and then you can just all go inside of it, rest, and then come back out, and you're like safe.
Oh hell yeah, dude! That shit's fire.
All right, I'll take that.
Cool. So, I believe. Do you want to replace any of your spells? Do you have any spells that you already had that you're not happy with?
Let's change Enhance Ability, which is a level, to Shatter.
Okay. Cool. Shatter's pretty good. Anything else?
I replace more than one.
Oh, it looks like just one, I guess. You add one and replace one.
That's fine, yeah. That's cool.
Okay. So, that should be it. You're up to 36 HP now. Very nice.
I'm a tanky boy.
Hell yeah, man. You're getting there.
Strong.
Very nice. So let's go over you guys really quick. Chad, what did you get at level 5? Did you already level up? You
Yeah,
did.
I already leveled up.
Cool. Tell us about what you got at level 5.
So I got 7 HP. Big shocker.
Very nice.
I
You're up
rolled
to
for it.
50
No,
now. Very nice.
I chose it. No, I get the bonus 5 because of the sunglasses. Give me 1 HP
Right.
per level.
Still 50. Very nice.
Yeah, I round out to nice, smooth 50. I also gain 10 movement speed at level 5 as a barbarian. So So I'm everywhere now.
Oh wow.
So like the 30 to 40 movement speed, that's like 33% increase in speed.
That is very good, and being able to
Kinda
move
nuts.
40, you can kind of just like control the battlefield really well.
Yeah, and on top of that, I get an extra attack.
I was gonna say level 5 for a martial class is huge. You get that extra
Yeah.
attack. You're essentially gonna start doubling your damage, man. Very nice.
Oh, I can't wait for the triple attack.
Heck yeah, man. Awesome. Anything else exciting happen? That's a lot of cool stuff.
No, nothing's cooler than that.
Cool.
Honestly.
Extra HP, movement, extra attack. You're doing it all. Love it. All right, and Mr. Goldu, what do we got?
I think I just got some HP and stats. That's all. Nothing
43
special.
HP. No new abilities or anything like that.
Nah.
Cool. You did get uncanny dodge actually. That one's pretty good.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that.
Whenever an attacker that you can see hits you with an attack, you can use a reaction to reduce it by half. So
Yes.
it's really good. Like every
crazy.
turn you take half damage from at least one attack. So that's pretty nice. And you can
You
really
have to roll to win that, or
no, it's just your reaction. So you get one reaction per like round. So if you use it against the first guy that attacks you and then the next guy after him attacks you, you already used it, so you can't use it again until it's your turn again. So you only
Okay.
get once per turn, but you can use it strategically. Like if a little rat comes up and bites you and then a dragon comes and attacks you, you can choose which one you want to use it on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just automatically cuts it in half. So if a dragon swipes down at you and hits you for 50, you can be like, no, I'm going to uncanny dodge that. And you can kind of like dodge out of the way and only take a little bit of the damage.
Straight. Do I have to announce it before the attack come?
You
or-
can announce it when you find out it hit, but before you know how much damage it did, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
if I tell you the dragon attacks and he rolled a 27, you're like, oh damn, that hit. Let me dodge real quick, and then you just take half damage.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see.
Cool, nice. I like it. That level 5 is really cool. I think once you guys start getting past level 5 is when stuff gets real strong and your characters really start to kind of unfold. So I'm excited. It should be really cool. Welcome to the stream, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Kitsu, V, I'm doing really well, and we're just about to get into things here. Yes, Uncanny Dodge. Howell, good to see you. So, you guys, I have this pulled up right now. We don't have to start this quite yet. If you guys wanted to go over to Zadera's
The shop.
Bazaar. Yes, okay. So we will go back to the map. So,
I need to use my money.
hey, Luca. So we get over to the kind of the town square, I guess, where all these tents are set up. You can see some people rummaging around in food carts and some people with different fruits and vegetables, and some of the like you can see like coconuts from the pine trees that are surrounding this village, and you can tell like this is stuff that people just foraged from around here. There's fish carts from people that have gone out fishing, and as you come into the town square, you can see exactly where Zadera is set up. It's this large imposing figure standing in this tent with a bunch of items strewn about on the counter, and first mate Phil actually turns around and walks over to you, and he's got his hand on this like really cool like scimitar, and he slides it back into its scabbard, and he's like, hello boys, welcome, good morning, it's good to see you, hope you all got some good rest. Man, this is a nice treat, finding such a friendly port to stay in. And he says, hey Darrow, do you have a minute? Could I have your attention for just a minute in private?
Anything for you, Phil.
He laughs, and he like has like a big belly laugh and chuckles, and he pulls you off to the side and pulls you over to the kind of like the tree line, and he starts talking to you, and he says, well, after you guys retired for the evening last night, me and some of the boys went in and had some drinks in the inn, and these people are wonderful. They were very nice to us. And we decided that we want to stay and work with you and work for you guys. And I'm good at handling the crew and running the ship and everything. Speaking of the ship, the Man's Ruin is totally destroyed. That thing won't sail again unless we put some serious effort into it. But they have a ship here, and I've discussed the terms with Mr. Tweed, and he offered to let me use the crew and captain the ship to essentially travel anywhere in use of the order of fate, and whatever missions you guys may need the crew for. And I just want to see if you, how do I say this? I'm good at running the crew and doing the pirate thing, but I'm no captain on my own. How would you like to captain the new ship?
Oh, Phil. You know, it's not really hard being the captain, Phil. You just kind of got to look officious and yell random things at everybody. And, you know, because you're so, captain-y, no one questions. But sure, I'll do it. I'll do it for you,
he starts to, like, think about it for a second. He's like, it's not that hard. Oh, okay, fine. Well, you can do it. You seem like you're better suited for it anyways. I just would like to officially inquire about it and make it known that I would love to be your first mate and continue in all duties essentially that I've been doing, but you'll be able to name the ship and run it for whatever purposes that the order needs to complete your jobs. And the crew and I will begin readying the ship immediately, and we'll be there whenever you need us, Captain.
I'm happy to have you first, mate, Phil. You can go about your day now.
He salutes you, and he pulls out his sword, and he, like, cheers and says, 3 cheers for Captain Darrow, and he, like, runs off back towards the ship, and he looks, like, super happy. And you rejoin the party, and you can see Zadera is waving at you from inside the tent across the town hall, or the town square.
Chad, Godo, you must refer to me as Captain Darrow now. Is that clear? I will have no parlay with you guys. I'm Captain Darrow.
No parlay. Love it.
Okay, Chad.
Okay.
I don't like you two. You know that?
So
I'm a captain too.
And I'm the king.
very nice. So Zadera kind of yells out and says, come on in, you guys. We've got lots of fun stuff for you today.
Do you sell food?
You can see a couple of the booths around that you could buy some food and, like, craft essentially, like, rations. But she does have some
Horse meat.
She does not have horse meat, unfortunately. That's funny. If you want to buy any types of food, there's a stall with, like, fish, coconuts, maybe some of the grown plants that you can see. There's, like, a little bit of, like, a community farm in the bottom right corner, just, like, wheat. And, like, you could essentially, if you want, I'll let you exchange, like, 5 gold for a ration of food. For as many as you want, but essentially it's not going to come up really.
Yeah. Show us the good lady horse.
So you guys walk into the tent, and you see this, like, really, really shoddily hand-painted sign that some of the letters are backwards, and it looks like a person with horse hooves was trying to paint on a sign.
Well, she doesn't have hands.
She does, but it's like the worst handwriting ever. And it says Zadera's Bazaar of Wonders. And you all come in, and you all kind of, like, point down and laugh at the sign that's, like, leaning up against the shelf, and you're all laughing, and you, like, read it out loud, and you're all like, oh my god, that looks like crap. And she just stares at you guys, and she's like, hello. Welcome.
I think she's dyslexic, guys.
Welcome.
Yeah,
to
we don't want that painting or whatever that painting. Is that your kids? I don't know what that is.
She's like, yeah, Kit
Well,
did that.
art.
She's
Oh,
like,
that's really nice of him. That's really cool.
she's like, yeah, Kit definitely did that for me. It was really cute. What can I do for you guys today?
Um, do you have any Chad-tastic items for
You
me and
have
my
any
Chads?
AK?
She's like, AK. Letters? Do you need a book? You want some stuff to read? I do have a book. And she pulls out this big book, and she sets it on the table, and you can
How
see
many damage does it inflict?
this like ancient, like gray bound leather book that's covered in these ancient symbols, and the book is bound in like iron, and it is this massive thing that looks like almost like a picture album, like a home photo album. Like it flips open and it's this huge thing, and you flip it open and you can't understand anything that it says in this book, and it's huge. It's like thousands of pages. And Zadara says, I got this book from Tweed. He read through it and he said it was of no use for him. It's essentially just a spellcasting book. It teaches you how to summon golems to work for you in combat. If you're already a spellcaster, you can spend enough time and learn the spells contained in it, and you can summon a golem to work for you. And
Damn.
Even a bard?
she
If
says,
only we had some spellcaster in this.
she says, yeah, I imagine if you knew any kind of magic at all, you would be able to eventually decipher it. You might need to consult with Tweed for some help, and it would probably take quite a while to read it all and learn about it, but I think anyone could do it given enough time. Tweed said that he could have done it, but he didn't have enough time with all the other research he had going on, so he gave it to me just to hang on to. I didn't really plan on this becoming a store. I mostly just like to collect the artifacts that Vex finds and keep them in a safe place, but some people wanted to use them for the upcoming war, I guess. And she says, if you guys want this, I could part with it for 1,000 gold.
Never mind.
No, we don't need any. We don't even can cast.
You don't realize it's the end of the world, lady. You don't want to have 1,000 gold.
We're just gonna rent it. We're gonna read the book and then we're gonna give it back, and then you can have it. Like you don't even lose it. Why do I get 1,000? You know it.
She
How about we
she's-
trade you Chad for it?
she thinks about that for a second. She's like, strong, useful.
Not wrong, but
He's
I'm not
also
for sale.
basically in the air conditioning.
She like gets pretty wide-eyed at that and then says, oh, we can't do that. And she starts to slide the book back under the table, and she says, well, let me look here. And she like looks under the table for a second, and you can see this is like it's like a wooden stand inside the tent, but there's like a glass top, and you can see a couple of items inside, and she just starts to grab a few of them. She pulls one out, and it's this deck of cards, and it looks like a tarot deck. And she says, how about this? This might be a little bit closer to your price range. And she pulls it out, and there's like an instruction card inside, and it says, she starts reading it, and she can't barely read. She's like, this is the deck of and then she like hands it to Dara, and she says, here, you want to read this. And it's it says, this is the deck of illusions. This card deck contains magical cards that, when thrown on the ground, create a giant illusion in the shape of whatever like beast is on the card, and then the caster of the spell can control the illusion on their turn, with their turn, essentially. Like in meta speak, like you throw out one of the cards and like whatever is on the card pops up. Like if the card has a dragon on it, an illusion of a giant dragon pops up. If it's a wolf, an illusion of a wolf pops up, and then you can control that illusion and move it around and make it do stuff. But if anyone investigates it or attacks it, then it like they know it's an illusion. But you can use it to essentially just like you would use an illusion spell to trick people or scare people, like that kind of stuff. But it's a whole deck full of random illusion cards.
That sounds pretty cool. What are you gonna part for it for?
And she kind of takes the deck back, and she says, well, I like this because it's got pictures. And
Of course you do.
I would get rid of this for 25 gold, she says.
Sold.
So Darrow, you're like into this? You want this one?
Oh yes, I do.
All right. She sets it on the table and she's like, all right, we'll add that to your purchase. And she sets it there on the other side from where she has this pile of things that she pulled out. And the next thing sitting next to the deck of cards was just this steel rod. It looks like just a metal rod, and it's sitting on the table, and she just rolls it to the side and then rolls it back and forth. She picks it up and it looks like just like a baton, just like a metal bar, plain. And she picks it up and she says, Chad, hold that and try to bend it.
Okay.
And you try to bend it and it doesn't really flex at all, doesn't do anything. And you just see it and it's just like a regular metal rod. And then she comes out from behind the counter of the bazaar and she puts it in the air in front of her, like 5 feet up in the air, and she pushes a button on the side of the rod and then lets go, and it just stays there floating in the air. And she pulls herself up on top of it and is standing on this like 1 foot long metal bar, and is just floating in the air on this bar. And she just hops back down, clicks the button again, and puts it back on the table and says, this is an immovable rod. There are many uses. It's one of the more fascinating magical items I've come across that Vex brought back. He found it in some strange tomb. I don't exactly know what you can do with it, but it's pretty damn fascinating. And when it's engaged, nothing can move it.
Whoa, this is
a
the coolest
button.
chin-up bar I've ever seen. I need it.
And
Wow.
when you say that, she like puts it back up in the air and clicks it. And Chad, you can literally do pull-ups on this thing while it's floating in there.
What if the button break?
This is great.
She says, well, as far as we know, that can't happen. But I guess if it was engaged and somehow broke, it would just be stuck there forever.
Well,
Of much.
She thinks about it for a second and says, I would part with the immovable rod for 50 gold.
50? All right. I'd say yes anyways. Just give me the damn rod.
Right. And as soon as you grab it, she hands it to you and she says, 1 Chadley pull-up bar.
think she's flirting with you, Chad.
I mean, who isn't?
And
Guess you're right.
she sets that with the deck of illusions there sitting on the table, and she pulls out one more item and she says, I'll just go through the stuff that we have in stock with you, but if there's anything else you all are interested in, please let me know, and I'll try to have Vex track it down. We do stock your standard. I have pretty much any simple or even some of the more advanced weapons, non-magical, of course. And I have healing potions, quite good ones at that.
Give me your entire stock.
The healing potions that she has are potions of greater healing, which are like 1 step above the regular healing potions. And she says that those are 15 gold each, and she only has 10 in stock currently.
Give me 5.
Yo, give me 4.
Okay. She looks and says, you little one, would you like the remaining potion? I'll give you a deal on it. I'll give you the last one for 10 gold.
All right.
All right, and she pulls out this bag with these really, really fascinating, like, alchemy vials with this glowing, like, pinkish red liquid, and she sets them all with the other things that you're buying. And the next item she pulls out, she pulls out this little bag, and it looks like just like a little pouch, like an ingredients pouch or something, and she pulls out of it, and it looks like, have you guys seen that like special like color that they invented a couple years ago in like Meta Talk, that Vanta black?
Vanta black.
She pulls this like thing out that looks like that, and she sets it on the ground, and this hole appears.
It's almost as black as Goldo's heart.
And she hops into it, and she's just like, she looks like she's in like this 10-foot hole underground. And she hops out and then picks up the hole and puts it back in the bag and sets it on the counter.
Wait, she hopped from a 10-foot hole?
She's very strong.
She has 4 legs, dude. Of course she did.
Well, and she's like 7 feet tall, so it was really not that hard to get up and get out of it. But she pulls it out and explains a little bit more. She's like, this thing will make a hole in essentially any object you can imagine. If you put it on the ground, it'll make you a trench for cover. You put it on a wall, it'll give you a hiding place. Put it on a door, you can go through the door. This thing's pretty...
Put on a person, does it kill him?
She says, well, unfortunately, that doesn't do anything. It'll just slide off and land on the ground. They might fall into the hole, but, you can really... I'm sure you guys could think of more uses for this thing than I can. I just...
Wait. If there is something in the hole and I take the hole away,
Yeah,
does it stuck in the ground?
if you put something in it and then you, like, pack up the hole, the thing that was in it will just pop out and, like, appear on the ground wherever the hole was. You can't use it as, like, storage. And then
Strange.
she says, however, the bag that she was keeping the portable hole in is a bag of holding, which, if you know what a bag of holding is, you can store essentially any number of things inside of it.
Oh.
She says, I'll let
But
you...
only thing that they can get into the bag. Not something big.
Yeah, not large things or people or anything like that. Just, it's like essentially like a regular... Think of it as like a storage backpack, but it can hold as much stuff as possible, anything that you want to fit in there. And she says, I'll let go of the bag plus the hole for 50 gold.
All right, I take.
Okay. She sets it with the rest of the stuff, and she says, well, not she, but Meta, just make sure you guys, if whatever you decided that you wanted, you can just add it to your inventory now and take away the gold, and we'll just do it like that. But then at the end of this,
that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, you can. We'll get everything at the end, but she's just doing this for in-game purposes, like setting it all together,
Yeah.
Next, she's like, well, that was all the simpler things, and then she says, well, actually, I have one more thing here, and she pulls out this like steel ring and sets it on the table, and she says, this is one of the more practical items we have here, and she puts it on, and you see this like wave of light wash over her really quickly, and all of her armor kind of glints and shines in the light, and then the light disappears, and she like clenches up her fist with this ring and says, this is a ring of protection, and meta ring of protection +1 AC.
Damn.
Yo.
How much?
And she takes it off and spins it on the table, and she says, 200 gold for that thing.
Gold will buy me now.
All right.
Well, sure, you don't have enough money, it's mine.
You stole my share, you damn.
I buy it, it's mine now. Shh.
All right, you're gonna buy it, gold?
200?
200 gold, yes.
Yes, I buy it for 199.
You guys are free to bargain with her on the prices.
I
Yeah.
have 33 gold.
I buy it for 100.
Dad wants the ring.
She says, I'm willing to negotiate here, but 100 is an insult. Make me a better deal.
Oh.
me my precious.
159.
She says that's closer. How about make a what would that be? Persuasion roll for me there, Goldu.
Persuasion. 20.
20. She's like, you know what? That's close enough. And because you guys are using this stuff for obviously the cause, and she says we'll call it 160.
All right.
Cool. You have
160
a
is-
ring of protection.
Do you have anything range for someone with more dex than?
She thinks about it for a second, puts her hands together, and she is like, well, let me look. And she pulls out, she's like, well, I think I don't have any ranged weapons. What are you looking for? I might have something specifically that you would be interested in. You said you're a bard, correct?
Yes, I am.
And she goes back, and behind the counter, behind her, there's this wall with this tapestry hanging from it, and there's some different things hanging on the wall. And you see this harp, and she grabs this harp and sets it on the table, and it's this intricately like golden metal harp with these like beautiful like pearlescent strings that like seem to like catch the light and like make the light like reflect off of it. And she says Vex found this, and it has all these like strange inscriptions all over it, and we don't know what it does, but it seems to be an extremely powerful magic imbued within this harp. Tweed cast some spells of detection on it to see what it did, and the powers evaded even him, but it seems to be extremely powerful. And meta, this harp can be used as a bard like spellcasting focus, just like your bagpipes essentially, and it gives you access to some like pretty powerful spells.
Being that I probably know what this is, I'm like, it's pretty heavy, not really useful. Tell you what, I'll give you my 33 gold, and we'll call it a deal. I mean, you have no idea what it's for.
She's like, well, I was thinking because of the power of the magic, we don't exactly know what it does, but I have some other items that are similar power levels. This, I was thinking of asking for closer to about 300.
We're trying to save the world here. Are you really going to gateway me like this? I'm really persuasive.
What did you say, Goldie?
I want to ask if she have more protective stuff.
Oh yeah, so you're standing over there trying to like talk her down, Darrow, and she starts to like look under the counter. Roll for your roll persuasion.
Wait, that's wrong.
She just starts looking for the next thing, and she's like, I'll come down a little bit, but you're offering 30 gold and I'm asking 300. We're not really on the same page here. And she pulls out these like really, really insane looking green metal boots and sets them on the table. And they have these like leaves coming off the side of them, and they're like green and gold metal inlaid. And she sets them down, and when you would expect metal to like clank on the counter, it's silent. And she says, these are something that I'm familiar with. These are kind of common magical items that have existed throughout the ages, made by the elves, boots of elven kind. They allow the wearer to be more stealthy. And meta, if you're wearing these boots, you have advantage on any stealth checks to do with like sneaking.
Damn. They were mad for me.
She says you're free to try them on if you'd like. If you want to pop them on, Gold.
Yeah, I wanna see if they fit me.
You put them on,
Suggest you
and
shut the door.
like as soon as you pull them on, they look like they're big, like made for like an elf foot, you know. And you pull it on, and it just like immediately like suctions up to you, and it feels like the most comfortable pair of boots you've ever put on.
They
And
suck me in.
they just feel like you're floating. You walk around and you try to like jump up and down and stomp and kick the ground and stuff, and it's just silent. You can't make noise on the ground if you tried.
Oh.
And you're just like floating. It's like you're like walking on like ice, but you have perfect traction at the same time.
Damn. How
And
much does this cost?
she says these are also 300.
250.
Make another persuasion check.
Wow, critical failure.
She says maybe 280.
I trade you 2 medium-sized sapphire, and you give it to me.
How many of those sapphires and gemstones do all of you guys have? Do you remember?
They have nothing. Everything is mine.
0.
Yeah, he took it all.
All right. Next time we
They
go
have
into a
two
dungeon,
s-
I'll
they
give
have
you guys
two
some shit.
medium-sized sapphire and 2 robes of necromancer. Very
Oh,
precious.
she actually
And a
asks.
small wolf pet belt.
She asks to.
And a whistle for bird.
She asks you to see all of that stuff, and if you would like, now essentially all of that stuff was like vendor trash. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She will give you the boots of Elvenkind in exchange for all of that stuff.
The 2 robe, 2 sapphire, and small wolf.
Yep.
And a whistle.
Yeah. No gold needed.
Yeah, I give.
All right. She's like, that seems like a fair deal. I could actually use this stuff. I don't use much of the magic items, but I could probably craft something out of all of this and make some interesting new items. So,
Some space for my inventory.
and
Hey,
yes.
do you have any other items that increase your protection or armor, but aren't actually armor? Because that's not the Chad way, you know? Because I'm taking a little hits, and I also have these really. He pulls out these super heavy iron boots. I got these really heavy boots, but I want something that works better for me, you know?
She sees those and she like gets excited. She's like, okay, there's something we can use. If you guys find anything on your adventures that could be used to kind of improve the gear of our civilians here for the upcoming battles, we could definitely use it. So keep your eye out for stuff like this. And she pulls the boots that you put off the counter and she's like, I'll take these. And in exchange, and she pulls out these 3 brown like squares. And she says, this is a patch that can be used to supplement the armor that you're currently wearing. And if you're not wearing armor, you can just put it on your regular clothes. Like you could add it to your pants or whatever, Chad.
Okay.
And this is called a patch of resistance. And if you choose to buy these, or I guess I will give you one, Chad, in exchange for these boots, but I'll charge 75 gold to anyone else that wants one, and she has 3. The patch of resistance, when applied, it will give you resistance to 1 random type of damage permanently. So that could be fire, lightning, ice, bludgeoning, piercing, slashing, necrotics, like radiant, like any type of damage that somebody could do. This will, one of those at random, it will permanently give you resistance to. And resistance in meta talk is you take half damage from that permanently.
All right.
And she says, I don't really have any other armor. That ring of protection was really all I had. I could probably try to find another one of those. They're fairly common, but I don't have one right now. If you give me some time, maybe I could come up with another one.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I think I'll just take that one.
But she just gives you that one patch of resistance. And let me pull up my little table here, and then I will have you roll, and I'll tell you what die to roll because there's a certain number of these
it's
damage
like 10
types.
or 8 or whatever.
1
6.
second.
I'm excited. I hope I
Yes.
get something that's like completely useless that like never appears, and then like randomly one time like one enemy will have it.
Oh yeah.
Like darkness. Grass resistance.
All right, 1 second. Let me find it.
Dairy resistance.
Like a vegetarian.
Resistance. Armor of resistance. Hang on.
Because even if I get one of the ones that overlap with my rage resistances, it still helps me when I'm not raging.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, there's nothing that's actually bad because it's either like I get something that's like I can double up with rage, or it's like it overlaps but helps me when I'm not raging.
All right, here we go. Roll 1d10, please.
Ooh, it was a D10. All right, let's see what we got. 4.
Oh man, you got the best one. All right, you are now
Yes.
resistant to force damage.
Ooh.
There literally
Darth
is
Vader.
nothing in the game that's resistant to force damage. So stuff that does force damage is like really overpowered. So now you're resistant to that.
Hell yeah, that's like true damage basically.
So force damage, yeah, essentially it's like magic missile. Like a pure like magic attack is force damage usually, or if something like pushes you back with magic, that's force damage. So you're straight up like you take half damage from that now.
Isn't that like falling damage too, or no?
Sometimes it just depends. We'll look into exactly.
Cool. I'm just like trying to think like where I could use it. That's interesting though.
And so you slap that patch on, and like this wave of light comes over you, and you kind of feel like a little bit stronger. And she holds up the other 2 patches, and she's like, "You guys want these?"
How much?
She's like 75 each.
How many do you have left?
Just the 2, but you only need 1.
How about 33 and a kiss?
she gives you like quite the look, and she's like, "You got anything else you can sell or trade?"
Yeah, your body is not the good seller, dude.
You telling me flesh doesn't go around here?
She's like,
I'm telling you, your flesh is trash.
Rude.
I have a spear I can give you. It's not the greatest quality, but
You can only have 1 patch. You can't have 2 patch.
Correct. You can only have 1 per armor.
So I take 1 then.
Okay.
75, right?
Yep. And roll a d10.
Let me just subtract. Well, I'm gonna roll first.
Okay. You are now resistant to acid damage.
Ooh.
Very nice. That's another good
Although
one.
I wrote it.
Means you can swim in your own poison.
Yeah, or if you get attacked by like any like spheres or jellies or anything like that, that's pretty good. They usually do acid or anything that spits acid, or there's some dragons that have like acid damage and stuff, so pretty good.
75 it was, right?
Correct, yeah. She looks over the spear that you kind of pull out, Darrow. Also, just meta really quick, Darrow, you asked earlier if she had any ranged stuff, right? Do you still have your crossbow that you picked up, right? You didn't forget about that, right?
Yeah, but it's proficiency with strength, and I have like negative strength.
Okay. She sees that you have that spear, and then she sees the crossbow on your back, and she's like, "I'll trade you a long bow or a short bow, whichever you prefer, and this patch for those 2 weapons and 20 gold."
Deal.
All right, so you can subtract your spear and that crossbow from your inventory, and whatever you can use. I don't know if you have proficiency with either. Probably a short bow, and that should be a dex weapon. And you can.
I have proficiency with a hand crossbow. That's
hand crossbow. Not you don't have short bows.
No, that's considered a simple weapon though.
Oh, hang on a second. Actually, I think a short bow is a simple weapon. Short bow 5e. Simple ranged weapon. Do you have proficiency with like straight up simple weapons, like all of them?
Yeah, just that simple weapon.
Yep, you can use a short bow.
Perfect.
And that should be a 1d6 damage ranged weapon that uses your dex for the attack rolls and everything. So you should be able to rock that one if you want something with ranged. And then you also have the armor patch. So if you want to roll a d10 for that, we'll see what you get.
What does he get?
You're gonna
What
get
does he get?
6. Oh, it's
Ooh, very nice. 6. You are now resistant to necrotic damage.
Oh yeah.
As you put on your patch, this like glowing like heavenly light pours over you, and she's like, "Oh, I recognize that one. That's the one I got. That's really good, especially with the upcoming war. I'm pretty sure the Lich is he's dishing out some death damage, and that seems to be what this one helps against. So, nicely done. Enjoy the bow." And
Thank you.
she pulls out a couple more items, and she says, "Well, you've kind of wiped out my stock of the more accessible things. Let me just show you the rest of what we got, and then give me a couple weeks, and I'll try to restock with some more interesting things." She pulls out a couple more things, and then she points back at the tapestry on the back wall that all the things are hanging on, and she kind of pulls it out from underneath everything, like the tablecloth trick when they pull it out from under the dishes, you know. And she pulls it off the wall and then jumps up, and it just flies under her feet, and she starts floating on this tapestry, and you can see that it's actually a carpet of flying.
Whoa! Do it again!
Show us all these items and then pull out a magic carpet.
And she says, when you said that you couldn't really afford the manual of golems, I didn't want to say anything, but in the future, if you happen to come across some greater treasure or gold, this will be available. And she says that the carpet of flying is 800 gold. And then she pulls out a little bottle that you recognize just from... actually, make a history check, all three of you. Let me see.
History.
All right, so you, as soon as she sets this bottle down, Darrow, you recognize this thing, and it's like a golden... It looks like a potion bottle, but it's solid gold metal, and it's got a little cork on top of it. And she very carefully sets it down, and she still holds on to the top, and she says, "This is an Afriti bottle. This is essentially, and from what you know from your years of travel and cultural experience, Darrow, you know that this is like a genie's lamp." And she says, "This thing has a couple of uses, and once you unleash the genie, a couple different things can happen. I'm too afraid to use it. He will either work for you, help you, or he'll try to kill you, and it's all kind of just due to chance and how he's feeling that day." And she says, "This one is 1,000 gold, and I'll keep it available. I don't think anyone else will be trying to purchase that anytime soon." And she sets it back underneath the counter. And then the last thing she pulls out is this cube, and you guys would recognize it. It looks like the like companion cube from like Portal. It's just like a big square. And she hits a button on it, and this like force wave emits from it and surrounds all of you and this tent, and you're just inside this cube. And she just like takes her spear and she throws it, and it just hits the wall and falls down. And she's like, "I don't know what this thing is, but it's amazing." And she says, "As long as we're in here, nothing can get in and hit us. It only lasts for a while, but it's essentially like a big shield." And then she hits the button again, and it closes back up. And she's like, "This thing is very, very useful. I'll just call it the Cube of Force. And that'll be 1,000 gold as well if you ever come up with that and want to upgrade your defenses a bit." And then...
You think that damage?
What's that?
That boost to damage?
It's like a big, like a force field generator. Like as soon as you...
Oh, I mean in inventory, what she said.
Does she have anything that boosts your damage? Is that what you asked?
Yeah.
She's like, I've shown you pretty much everything I have for now. Oh, she pulls out one more ring and she says, not quite as much excitement as the other ring for me, but this one may be of interest to you guys. And this ring, she says, this is a ring of spell storing. You can cast your magical spells into this ring and then cast them through the ring later on for no cost. So meta, like if you're about to go to bed and you still have some spell slots left over, you can cast a spell into the ring and then you can go to bed, get all your spell slots back, and then you can cast whatever spell you put in the ring for free, if that makes sense.
Even bardic inspirations.
No, that's not that won't count as a spell. But like you could like before you do your long rest, you could cast cure wounds into it or whatever. And then get all your spell slots back, and then the next day you can use one cast of cure wounds for free, or whatever spell you put into it, right?
It has a limit of one spell at a time.
No, 5 actually.
That sounds so awesome.
Yeah, you can put 5 spells into it before it's full.
Is it all rank or only rank 1?
Any level of spells. I think up to like level 5. You can't put like 9th level spells into it, like crazy shit. But pretty solid.
Are you guys gonna get that?
She says this will cost 100 gold.
Goldo, please loan me 100 gold.
100. Oh, I do. 85 gold.
Can I run up? 12.
17. That's pretty good. Make a persuasion as well, Darrow.
I didn't roll for a modifier last time, maybe.
Oh yeah, make sure you do that.
Bingo.
Nice. All right. Both of you, like, you kind of like look like you're like pooling your money together, and Goldu kind of turns and like gives like puppy dog eyes a little bit and says like 85, and she's like, all right, 80, and it's yours. I'll be generous. You guys have bought a lot of stuff, and she slaps the ring on the table and takes 80 gold from you.
Nice.
And she looks at Darrow and she's like, you all be careful with that, and you better thank your friend for helping you there. And then she packages up all the items and gives them all to you and all that, and says, like I said, I'll try to be stocked back up here in the next few weeks. Just takes time. Vex has to go out and do some runs. I usually look through some of the ruins on the island here, and it takes some time to find stuff, but I always come up with a few things here and there. Yeah, come back whenever you get back to the island up from your next adventure, and maybe we'll have some more interesting things for you. And the stuff that you couldn't afford today will always be available, of course.
Sorry, do you have anything that like can like make my Chad sword hit harder? Like some sort of imbuement or
She says, what kind of sword are you using? Let me see what you got.
the coolest sword ever, and then I pull out like the coolest sword you've ever seen.
Are you showing her the Elder Steel?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
It's the coolest
So
sword.
you hand this thing to her, and she's like already like, well, this is nicer than anything I have here, so I don't know if there's anything I could add to it. Do you know exactly what you have here? This looks like some type of artifact weapon.
I don't know. I just know it's at least a little bit better than what I was using before.
She says, well, you better hang on to this because it's definitely going to come in handy, but maybe if you get some extra time, you could give it to Mr. Tweed, and he could find out a little bit more information on this for you. It seems to have some sort of magical power just emanating from it naturally, and I'm not one that can just naturally tell if something is magical, but this thing, there's no doubting it. And as far as you know right now, it's a +1 greatsword, but it does have some other like hidden magical abilities that you don't know about so far.
Alright, so I gotta go talk to Tweed. Gotta unlock my powers. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's it. Yeah, I just wanted to trade in one of my items if there was something else to buy, but I guess there's nothing for Chad anymore.
And then all she will do is like every time you guys come back to her, she'll have different stuff and restock the healing potions and stuff like that. But if there's anything that you specifically are looking for, and if you guys want to do some research off stream, like look up magic items and stuff from the player's handbook or dungeon master's guide or whatever, if there's anything that looks cool that you really want, let me know and we can try to work it into the story.
Oh.
Yeah.
And she can have Vex go scout for some stuff and see if we can make it work. But for now, it looks like you guys wiped out the stock, and she just kind of tidies back up, hangs back up the flying carpet, and she's like, "Well, if you'd like to get started on the work, the ruins that we haven't cleared out yet that we need help with are just to the north of the village, maybe 20 minutes or so, and I think Elder and Kit have said that they've explored around there before. They haven't really ventured into the ruins very much, but they said there doesn't seem to be much around there. They've just heard some strange noises occasionally, but there's lots of wildlife on the island. I wouldn't be too worried about it. Just go scout it out, see what's up there, clear it out if needed, and report back to Tweed, and I think you should be good."
Before we go, do you have any advice on raising my baby boy or girl?
Oh, yeah, and she says, "Oh, right. Let me see. I think from one of the places that Vex has scouted, he explained that there was some writings on some dragons of the local area, but he didn't bring those back because he didn't think that they would be useful to Tweed. But next time he goes out, I'll make sure he picks those up for you. So check back in with me when you guys get back from your next journey."
Will do, my love.
She just kind of looks at you and laughs a little. Well, thank you all for the patronage here. It surely will go to good use in aiding the conquest efforts. And she just kind of turns back and lets you all off on your own.
Thanks, lady.
Now what?
See you around.
She waves you all out. And
Now we go fight.
You
We
leave
free the country.
you leave the tent, and she kind of gave you the advice of where to head to find the ruins.
Are we ready, kids?
Aye, aye, Captain.
That's
I can hear you.
Aye, aye. Okay, let's go.
Perfect for
Yeah.
Captain Darrow. All right, so you guys, you want to head up to the ruins out of town?
Yeah, dude, we need some action.
Very nice. So let me disappear the map here. You travel for not too long. She said it was kind of straightforward path north out of the village. And let me switch you guys over on Roll20 here over to the map. You can see. And you get to this nice like little forested area, really nice green grass, and trees, and you can see the rubble of some old buildings and ruins that must have been from like a real civilization in Faerun that was destroyed when the Lich took over and the magic kind of destroyed the world. And you get to this clearing, you get to the edge of some of the buildings that look like the foundations for maybe like old houses or businesses and stuff, and you don't really seem to see anything. But as you approach, you can see off in the distance there's more buildings, and there's quite a big clearing in the area, and you look to the side and you can see down, and you can see this like big waterfall, and there appears to be this big statue looking monolith structure in the middle of this pool of water, and it's all this like calm, serene just outdoor scene with just some ruins. And you hear like a really faint singing or chanting sound in the distance. Oh, and there's some more buildings up above and just some rubble and trees and stuff. You can hear like what you think is like chanting or singing. It's really faint. You can hear it in the distance. It's almost like the sensation like when you're sitting home alone and you think you hear someone say your name, but it's like, did I hear that? Or am I just like messing with myself in my head right now? And you all sit there and you're trying to be like quiet and you're like shushing each other, like, shut up, like, what, can you hear that? And you think you hear this chanting in the background, but you're not quite sure. And you feel like it's coming from more towards the direction that you're all facing on the map here, like towards this way, towards the left of the screen, I guess. And you, other than that, it all seems quiet in the clearing.
Dude, there's a ghost here.
Hey, welcome, Random British Dude. Hollow Knight is very good. Thanks for coming by the stream, man.
It's a bit of a stretch, Goldu.
We need to investigate. Maybe it's an enemy we need to kill.
I'm not particularly bloodthirsty, but let's go kill it anyway.
Yeah, on what to victory.
Well, we might as well look around while we're here. I mean, not. What?
So you guys want to explore the area?
I want to
let's look
find
around
the
a bit.
source of the ghost.
I
Okay.
want to go to that beach down there in that pillar.
The beach. It's a lake. A
That's
pool.
a beach. There's sand.
So you come down in this area and you can see like there's a big cliff top up here, and you can see down pretty much all the way back to where the forest starts back up again. And this is like on the southern side, so this is pretty close to where the city that you just came from, the village, I guess, Aegis. This is like right on the other side of like the outcropping of palm trees and stuff. So you see this, and there doesn't seem to be anything particularly interesting about it. There's like the big structure in the middle of the water, but it's just a nice calm waterfall, and it's beautiful. There is like a little bit of a sandy beach where the water has kind of like eroded the rocks over time, and all seems pretty serene and calm. You can still hear the slight chanting, singing noise coming from your west, I guess, from the left side of the screen.
The ghost is calling us.
I mean, if it is a ghost, are we really going to walk towards it just willingly?
Why not?
Chad? Wanna lead
Chad,
us?
you want to fight, Chad? Look at
Chad wants gold. Chad wants loot. Chad wants to kill. So point Chad. And Chad will go.
I
Yes.
point west.
So you
Alright,
guys,
follow
All right, Chad.
you guys all start heading west.
I follow where he pointed.
All right.
Yeah,
So
I go west. I know Daru because he's one to best.
so as you guys you hear this noise and you decide to investigate, and you head westerly, and you see all these ruined buildings as you go, and they asked you to kind of check it all out, and you see that it doesn't seem to be super exciting, anything interesting going on, just some like building foundations cleared out with some dirt pathways, and maybe these spots used to be homes, and you're thinking like this could be a good area for their stronghold that they're thinking out about. They wouldn't have to do much work other than clearing out some of the trees and like fixing these broken buildings, and then it's a pretty open area. And as you're coming along, that chanting seems to quiet down a little bit, and you hear this buzzing sound, and it starts to get louder
Oh shit!
the further west you get. And as you get to kind of this central part of the ruins here, you see this bug fly down from inside one of the trees, and it flies down, and behind it another one appears, and then they're buzzing in like this like weird noise from their legs rubbing together like a grasshopper almost, but it's like terrifyingly loud. And another one appears from the tree and flies down from behind Goldu, and then another one, and another one. DJ Khaled
Another
appears.
one.
All of the trees around you just start like spewing out these like flying bug figures, and as they start flying down and like kind of surrounding you in this swarm, You can see that they look like a flying bat, but they have like this long, like mosquito, like proboscis, like probe
Trumpet.
type thing, and it looks like a bat mosquito bug, and they start swarming, and that's going to be initiative.
Goldie's are you your cousin?
First initiative in a couple weeks. I'm excited.
Cousin, what?
Can't believe kids are out here.
Kids.
I mean, yeah, Kit was out here, right, with Elder.
Yeah, they said that they were out exploring, but I guess they didn't run into these.
They didn't mention the giant bat bugs, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, by the way, guys.
It wasn't a big deal, they thought.
Like these 2
Just flip
feet
their
bugs, and they're louder than you can imagine.
All right, let me get everyone's initiative here.
The same as you, Donald.
No, I got 16.
I got 16 as well.
Darrow, what was your initiative?
4.
Okay.
Weak. Just like him.
So
He's fat and slow.
Goldu, Chad. Okay, so these bugs appear and start swarming, and they kind of swoop down, and one of them makes an attack at you, Goldu. And
What a bitch.
19 to hit.
Oh no, he hit.
Okay, he's going to do 5 damage, and he pierces into you with that like mosquito needle, and this thing, like, it flaps down like bat-like and stabs into your back and like sinks that mosquito needle into and starts sucking your blood. It does 5 damage, and it like leeches on and attaches onto you, and it's like hooked into you with these bat claws while it's like feeding on you mosquito style.
He suck.
Yeah. big suck. And it's Goldu's turn.
I kill him.
The one that's attached to you?
Yeah.
Are you trying to like pull it off, or are you trying to attack it?
Both.
Okay, you can make an attack roll.
Let's see. Can I do like that? I don't know. I'm just gonna roll normally.
Okay.
Oof. But I can reroll, right?
Oh, because you rolled a 1?
When you roll a 1,
Yeah.
24.
Nice. Okay, so you what is that like halfling luck? Is that what that ability is? Yeah, lucky. Okay, cool. So you re-roll, you got a 24. That's a hit. You stab into this thing, and it dies immediately. It seems pretty weak. You just pierce into this flesh, and like the blood that it was like kind of sucking up from you just like spews out everywhere, and it's dead.
Nice.
So the one behind you was the one that kind of jumped onto your back and sucked onto you, and it died. Next up, do you have any other actions?
Do you get gold for killing it?
Yeah, do I get gold?
Yeah.
Oof, it's money making, boys.
Yeah,
I
roll
need
your.
to kill all of them.
Wow.
Nice.
I don't know, something under 50.
Right. All right, cool. So you still have your bonus action if you want to do anything.
I can't attack with my bonus action, right?
Correct.
Can put in defensive either. I'm gonna nothing then.
Okay.
Wait.
Okay. Chad, you're up, man.
Alright, Chad is gonna go into a rage.
Hell yeah.
And then he's gonna go run up in a diagonal northern pattern to go hit these guys in the trees.
The one to the left and up of you?
Yes, left and up.
So you move there and you take an attack of opportunity from this one. 22 to hit.
I think that hits.
It's going to be piercing damage, which I would imagine you are resistant to.
Yes, it is the third resistance.
So it's going to do 4 damage to you, so 2, I guess, and it will also actually attach itself onto you, and it moves itself with you.
Okay.
So you take the 2 damage, and now you have this thing attached to you, and feel free to continue your turn.
Okay, so I'm gonna frenzy, but as part of my rage, but obviously since that's my bonus action, I can't use it.
Right.
But since I'm level 5, I can use my extra attack.
You can, so you can attack twice.
And I will use my reckless attack.
Very nice. You're going all out. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna go hit that guy that's right in front of me.
Go for it, man.
Just trying to find how much bonus I get to hit. I think it was plus 8. All right.
Oh,
That's a good one.
That's attack number 1, right? With
Yep.
the reckless attack. Okay, that one
That
misses.
was an attack and it missed.
Okay.
Oh, hello.
All right. Big crit. So you go ahead and roll your crit damage if you'd like. You now know that these things have an AC of 14.
Okay. What's the how do I calculate my crit for my weapon?
So you roll double the damage dice, but you only add your bonuses once. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So mine is 2d6, so that's 4d6 then.
Correct. And then you add your strength and your +1 and all that.
Okay. Cool. All right. So that will be 4, 6 dice. Holy crap!
Jesus.
4, 5.
Man, you should buy a lottery ticket.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
So that's 20 plus 8. 28.
All right. So I think I don't know how we decided that we would do your cleave stuff.
I think we just say once per combat is what.
Okay, cool. Well, there's also that alternate rule. Like if you totally kill something with your attack, you can have the extra damage go into the next monster.
The overkill damage goes on.
You overkilled this. How much did you do? 28?
28.
Okay, these things have 2 HP, so you overkilled this thing by 1,400%. So, or whatever it is. So you you smash this thing so hard that the one next to it dies as well.
Didn't expect it. I just wanted to kill the one.
Very nice. And now it is the bug's turn, and as you kind of you guys acted so quickly when they swarmed down, you started to attack them back and pick them off that they didn't have time to react, but now they're starting to swarm, and you see a couple more come down from the trees.
Another one.
And they just keep coming, and they're making these clacking, rattling bug noises, and one from the bottom flies up and makes an attack at Darrow. And
the first time Darrow's gonna get sucked.
Tries to sink in with the mosquito attack here, and 11 to hit.
13 AC, baby.
Very nice. It misses. This one comes down, swoops onto Goldu, and tries to attack. 23 to hit. Obviously, that's gonna hit, and it will do 5 damage and attach itself to you. This one tries to do the same. That's 18 to hit. What's your AC?
Yes, I got 16.
Very nice. Okay, so it's going to do 4 damage and attach itself to you. This one that is attached to Chad will just begin to draw blood out of you as quickly as possible. And it's going to do 5 damage to you.
Ouch.
This one comes down and tries to sink itself in as well. Oof, critical hit. That one's going to do 4, 5, 6, 7.
Alrighty, Aphrodite.
And attach itself. Another one.
Just covered in bugs.
Yeah. That one totally whizzes by and misses. And then this one flies down and sees a ripe half-elf for the taking. 21 on that one, so it's going to sink itself in and do 5 damage to you and attach itself. And then this one is going to try to fly over to the top. Let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20. Oh, yeah, it can get there. And going to go for Goldu there. And let's see here. You said 16 AC, right?
Yes.
Okay, that one's going to do 7 damage and sink itself in.
One uncanny dodge.
Okay. You take half the damage, so you're going to take, 3, I guess?
I don't know if it's on my inventory or not.
What's
Yes,
that?
it was 7. I don't know if the half is on my inventory.
Oh,
or not.
right. Yeah, how do we do that, Chad, when we split the damage in half for your rage? Is it like roll?
We what do you mean for like when it's an odd number?
Yeah.
Yeah, round down.
Okay, yeah, so you take 3.
It's an advantage.
Alright.
Cool. That's all of the bugs' turns. It's Darrow now.
I want to move diagonal to my left
You wanna get killed?
twice. I know, but
Jump
if
off
I
the
take
cliff.
left,
Right
I
here?
don't.
To that spot.
Yeah.
Okay. You are going to take 2 attacks of opportunity. Actually, no, they're both sunk into you.
come
What am I
with you.
talking about?
Yeah, they come with them.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Yeah, they're both attached to your, like, one's on your back and one's, like, on your leg, and they're just, like, drawing blood as quickly as possible. You can use your
Or you can
action
jump in the
to
water.
try to rip them off, but
Kill him.
It's up to you.
Better to kill him.
Can I just like kamikaze myself?
how do you mean?
I want to use shatter on where I'm standing.
What does it do?
It's a spell that's instantaneous. 10-foot radius spear that needs a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
And it does 3d8 thunder damage on a failed save or half as much on a successful.
Oh, yeah, go for it, man.
If I die.
So, Constitution saving throw, your spell DC is 16?
16.
Okay, yeah, make a Constitution saving throw, and these things will as well.
Oh boy.
Very nice.
Oh my
you
God.
you pass. So roll 3d8 for your damage. 10. So you take half of that, correct?
Yeah.
So you take 5, and these things just are totally obliterated. Very nice.
Guys, it worked.
Nice job. I thought you were gonna jump into the water.
Any other bonus actions or anything? You also still have some movement left.
I'll move back to my original spot and give I'll give Goldu a bardic inspiration. I think I can reach him from.
Very nice. Yeah, he's 5, 10, 15. He's 20
Isn't
feet away.
bardic inspiration only for medium?
What's that?
Say that again, Goldu?
Isn't bardic inspiration only for medium creature?
No.
That's for everybody.
I think he can use it on anyone that he can see, any character he can see within sight. Let me check. Choose one creature other than yourself within 60 feet who can hear you. So, yep, you would count.
And I'm gonna make Goldu heal, I guess, with the read.
Cool. So you, Goldu, roll a die equal to whatever size your hit die is and heal that much.
Yep.
8.
Nice. Yeah. So heal yourself for 8 points, and you also have 1 bardic inspiration token. You can redeem
Nice.
whenever. And that's it for Darrow.
Yes, sir.
Back to Goldu.
What does bardic inspiration do?
You can add the die, which is what are your 1d6? Is that right?
Yeah, 1d6.
So you can add 1d6 to any attack roll, saving throw, or ability check, I believe.
Oh yeah. All right, I wanna attack the north one.
Okay. As you guys are fending off these bugs and swatting at them and attacking, and they're sucking your blood, you can hear that chanting start
1d8,
to.
I'm sorry, by the way.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
fifth level now.
Very nice. You can hear
What?
that chanting start to increase in volume and come back.
I roll a 12. Does that miss?
You learned earlier that it's AC 14, so I'll let you add the bardic inspiration if you want to.
1. 1d6.
1d8. He.
Yeah, 5th level, so it's 1d8 now.
Yeah, when he leveled up, it's now one size larger.
Beam 15.
Cool. Yeah, you hit. Roll damage on the thing above you. You don't have to roll damage. It has 2 HP.
Yeah, I have to 4 anyway.
So it is dead. Yes.
I wanna use my bonus action with the fast end and pour the flask of acid on the one on the right side.
Very nice. Okay, yeah, you can expend one of your uses of that. Roll. I think we're gonna go with like a D6 of acid damage.
6.
Boom. Yeah, it's dead. Very nice.
Also, doesn't he roll for the first thing he killed with the knife, the gold knife?
Oh yeah.
Yep. Nice. Thanks for remembering, Chad. Yeah, roll your D100. 42. Very nice. You stab into this thing and the blood starts shooting out of it and it just turns into gold coins midair. Very, very cool. It's back to Chad, I believe.
Add to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. All right, Chad's gonna get the butt of his sword, and he's gonna try and use all 3 attacks in a reckless attack to hit each of the bugs like once.
Yeah, sure.
All right, here we go.
So for the north one first.
Yeah, north one first, so we'll roll 2 at a time.
Yep.
For the advantage.
Hit, dead. All right, left one. Dead.
And the bottom one.
Dead. You just like you're in your rage and you're going super crazy and you're flexing your new level 5 muscles and you just like 1, 2, 3 just like take them all out.
He's so cool.
Who's next?
Very nice. And
hopefully they don't call for more.
now this
no more.
This last one that is still over here attached onto Goldu tries to take some more blood. It gets 5 more points of damage on you and it detaches and begins to fly away, and it lands on top of this tree and it starts like doing this weird vibrating shaking noise, and you see from the area where you saw where you heard that chanting noise come from, this like arc of magic just flies through the air and just perfectly picks this bug off as soon as it lands on top of the tree, and it just like fries it and sizzles it, and the blood just pops and explodes and it dies. And all the bugs are gone.
Time to go, guys.
Go kill the bug.
Now that you have killed all the bugs and that like humming and bug vibrating like chirping noise has disappeared, that chanting and that chanting and singing noise is getting louder and louder from the west.
Can you heal me, Daryl?
Can I what?
You heal me.
Can I already heal you?
Yeah, to big damage.
How much damage does it take? You already healed 8.
Yeah, but I lost more than 8. Do you work?
This is my job now. How about you, Chad? Are you okay?
No, I lost like 7 health.
All right, I'll walk up to Goldo and cast Cure Wound.
Cool. Yeah, cast away.
As soon as I can find the tab.
What?
13.
There.
Nice.
All right. You guys all topped up, ready to go?
Thanks for me.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Very nice.
All right,
I'm not good.
Little Chad, you want to go? Little Chad, you want to go sneaky sneak and see what all that sound is coming from? Maybe you can get the jump on them.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
go sneaky sneak, big wussy.
I stealthed then.
Yeah, make a stealth roll. Did you buy those boots? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did.
You have advantage on your sneaking stealth checks now. So,
I rolled 29 for the first, so.
yeah. And the way that you rolled it first with the 29 and the 24, that's advantage. So,
Oh, you give advantage in
yeah.
sanity? Okay.
So yeah, you're sneaking along with your new boots. You can't even hear yourself, and you're trained for this stuff. You're just like the wind, and you start to sneak over here. You get to the edge of the building, and you can start to see some like more ruined building appear, and you can see this like temple looking structure. You can see some creatures inside of it chanting and kind of stomping around and hollering and singing, and there's this blue force field wall around it. You can't see it on the map, unfortunately, but pretty much the exact outline of the structure here is just surrounded by this blue force field wall that's like the same color as that like arc of magic that shot out and killed the bug. And you can see inside these creatures are like chanting and singing, and as you get up closer, how close did you like want to sneak up and look at this stuff?
Until I can see what's inside, you know?
Okay. If you get up like behind this tree here, like you can still stay behind the cover of the tree, and you can see through this passageway, through the blue like force field wall. You can see that there's this group of what looks like these like huddled over like mutated creatures in like ragged robes, carrying spears and various like kind of rugged weaponry, and they're stomping around, and there's like four of the smaller ones, and there's one large one that seems to be like commanding them in this weird tribal chant, and they're just, like dancing around this structure, this big statue, and you can see the statue looks like this giant like goblin. And as they are stomping around, the large one that seems to be doing the chanting and leading them, and he's holding this like book, and he's like slamming this war staff onto the ground. He looks over and he sees you through the force field, and he slams it down and stops. And the force field like shimmers a little bit, but he slowly like he closes the book and attaches it like to a rope on the side of his armor. And he's got this like almost looks like samurai armor. It's like this folded like layered plate armor, and he turns and looks at you, and he's got this like greenish skin, but like it's got some red tints to it, and he's got this big war hammer. And he turns and kind of walks over towards the edge of the force field, and he like speaks to you and says, who approaches the temple of the Old One?
Hakuna Matata, brother.
And the other goblins like were chanting, and they slowly stopped, and they kind of like gathered, and these mutated goblinoid looking creatures that were dancing around this statue of this giant goblin, they look out the door, and they see their leader like talking to you, and you can hear from inside the force field, one of them says like, who is it, boss? What do they want? What are they doing? Should we kill them? And the big one says, state your name and business with this temple. This is our domain. And what do you, Chad and Darrow, you can kind of see this going on. You can't really hear what's going on too well, but you can see Goldu is talking to someone now.
I pretty much like I have my sword ready the whole time, but as soon as I hear something talk, my mind is blown, and I start kind of like slowly walking towards what's happening.
Okay, you're like kind of creeping up into the clearing here. Darrow?
Yeah.
Following right behind Chad as a body shield.
All right, cool. You are right behind, and you're into the earshot, and this like, he looks like a cleric or like a shaman, like a leader of these like weird cult chanting goblin dudes. And welcome, Gusto. This is on Roll20. Absolutely. Well, once we get to a break here in a few minutes, I'll give you the rundown on everything. Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for being here. So this shaman character, he sees you two approaching as well, and he says, Where are you all from? We haven't seen any others in a long time. But he's speaking like in kind of like very broken common. He looks at his book and kind of flips through it a little bit and looks at all of you again, and he looks back up and says, what are you doing here? We mean no harm to all of you. What is your business here?
Kuna Matata, brother.
When you
just send us
I'll
to
step
see.
up and talk to him, I guess.
what were you gonna say, Goldu?
I said the village send you shit to kill the bugs.
He says, who is they?
The horse people.
He when you say that, he says, oh, I've seen some horse creature around here. They sent you here. And then when you were talking to him, Goldu, he kind of like tilted his head at you a little bit, and the more you talk, the more he's just like looking at you, and he starts to like creep forward at you a little bit, and then he gets to like the edge of the force field, and he stops and pulls back, and he goes back in and talks to these guys for a second, and they're all whispering, and when he says something to them, they all start like jumping up and down and like getting really excited, and one of them just like runs out, and it runs into the force field, and it like crashes into the force field, and it sizzles up and just burns up and dies immediately. And the boss walks back out, and he's just like, oh my god, oh god. The other ones are just like, they're still so excited and freaking out, but they're just like, oh my god, he's dead. And the boss like slams the war staff down again, and this force field disappears, and the big one slowly creeps up in front of you, Goldu, and he pokes you on the chest.
Ooh.
And I poke him on the kidney.
He like doubles over, and he says come into the temple with us, all of you, please, this is fascinating, please come inside. And they all go back into the statue they were chanting around. And do you follow them inside?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go inside, but I'm not singing your
Before we
song.
reactive the force field, we die.
He beckons you inside, and he's like, believe me, we mean you no harm. This is amazing. This can't be. And when you get in there, he tries to grab you, and like he's like messing with you, and
really
like
see the inside of the temple on the camera.
there you go. He is like pulling and prodding at you, Goldu, as you come in, and he says, could it be? And he looks at the statue again, and it's this great goblin warrior, and and he looks at you, and he says, we have been waiting for a true old one to arrive. Tell me that we have found our leader, our god, our guardian. It's time. We've been chanting for so long. Please tell us that it's you.
Damn, they keep the statue of myself from so long.
And he's like poking and prodding at you, and he's like, you look different. What? Please tell me that this is some sort of a ruse. What? Reveal yourself.
Yes, my brother.
He,
Kneel before me. I shall show you the true nature of myself. And unzip my snooze.
So you pull off this disguise that you have been wearing this entire time, and this like magical mask that you had on. You rip it off, and this like wave of energy falls over you, and everyone around you, including Chad and Darrow, now see Goldu's true form, which is a goblin.
You dirty!
It is I, Goldu, the Goblin Prince of Daragia.
What the chat is going on?
The other,
Not a Chad.
you climb up on top of the like altar of the statue, and the other goblins are cheering. And these ones, you can see all of them. They look mutated, and they have like stones and crystals growing out of them, and they're kind of look like weaker than your average like goblin that you all would know. And they see Goldu stand up, and they see like an identical like mirror image to this goblin statue that they've been worshiping. And they all start like slamming their sticks and spears and weapons on the ground, and they say like, the real ancient one has revealed itself. And they all they start bowing to you and like praising you and like putting their hands up in the air, and they're cheering and so excited. And the big one, like, he gets down on one knee and does this big bow, and he says, the goblin crew serves you, my lord. And they introduce themselves, and the big one stands up and he says, let me get all the info here. He says, my name is Brack. I've been leading this squad since we were brought to this land through some unholy magic, and we found this book that spoke of the old ones, the true goblins that we descended from. And he says his name is Brack. And then the other one stands up and he says, my name's Flack. And then the next one says, my name's Clack. And then the last one says, my name is Grack. And then...
Which one's the one that died?
And then they all say, that was Joe. And he
looked like a Joe.
They all like do like this weird hand symbol, and they say, rest in peace, Joe. And Brack stands back up again, and he says, we pledge ourselves to your service, Lord. We don't know your mission, but you must have been sent to us for a reason. What brings you here?
I'm here to clean the mess of the elf. They created a lich.
He says, a lich? Oh my, we certainly aren't strong enough to take on a lich, but we'll help you in any way that we can.
Don't worry, I'm here to do everything. I'm here to save the people.
And they say, you came here from some sort of settlement, right? With the horse woman that we saw.
Actually, I got transported in this world from my palace.
He says, of course, my lord. Of course, we'll work tirelessly to get you back there, and your friends as well. Who are your friends?
They are my vessels.
What?
They serves me in battle, in outside battle.
Brack,
That's a lie.
he steps up and he holds his war staff and slams it on the ground, and he extends a hand to shake with Chad and Darrow, and he says, fellow servants of the Almighty Lord, good to meet you all, and welcome to our temple of the Old One.
Nice to meet you, funny looking Chad.
And he is like, you guys all know, like the other three, they're like standard goblins that have mutated over time, pretty short, about the same height as Goldu. And this other one is a little bigger. He's like a hobgoblin, but they're all mutated, like magic cursed versions of themselves. They aren't the old regular style of goblins. And he introduces himself, and then he says, well, we've been just hiding out here, protecting ourselves from the dangers of the outside realm, but we have sanctuary now. We shall follow you into whatever hells or perils may await, sir. Just give us your command. And Meta, when you go back and meet with Tweed, you're going to kind of figure out those artifacts that he was telling you guys about that you could go and quest to find to kill the lich. There's 3 of those magical artifacts that you're going to have to gather up, and while you're out adventuring trying to do that, you can have the goblin squad go off and do like little side quests for you to gather up supplies or gold, or go out and like do things for you or anything like that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like the garrison stage in World of Warcraft.
Yeah, exactly. They are like Gusto. Yeah, you said like minions. Yep, they are essentially like
followers.
They're your followers, and you can kind of command them behind the scenes, and they'll help you guys out.
The first unit of my army.
Yes, exactly. The Goldu's Goblin Squad. Goblin Team 6. Yeah, they would have been, except for Joe died. So
They were.
they just continuously are just like overjoyed to see Goldu, and they just keep like coming up and trying to touch you to see if you're real, and they're praising you, and they just like they shake your hand, and you touch their hands, and they just like look at themselves, and they're like, we have purpose now. True goblins do exist, and they just like are overjoyed, and they just like will follow you anywhere. And Brack stands up and he says, is there anything we can do to help you with your clearing out this place? As you said, we can get to work on anything.
Do you know anything about these stupid bugs? Or even better, could you just like help us kill those nests while we like search the area for more stuff?
He says, absolutely. We'll clear this place out in no time. This would be a pretty good place for a base. If you want, we can get to work on that as well.
Hell yeah, my boy.
And then they'll clear out the area and start the essentially base building process. So you guys, this is going to get meta for a second. We've got a lot of different stuff going on, so I'm going to kind of pull back the curtain for a second. This area, and let me go down a little bit here. There's another area here with this extra ruinous building. I'll zoom out so you guys can totally see the whole thing there on camera. Can you see it all now?
Yeah.
So this area, it won't let me go over to the side. Hang on one second. This is your stronghold area. This clearing will grow over time, and you guys can improve it, add on to it, and it'll be like your home base of operations for the Elder Council, which is your group that you will now be known as, with Elder and Tweed and Vex and Zadera. And Chad, you were asking earlier if you could have like your own like Chad domain.
Yeah.
These 4 buildings in the top right corner, each of you can have one of those, and that will be like your place. And this temple in the top left will be like the holy temple, or like the magical temple area of the stronghold, but it's also going to be the goblin squads, like it's still their like temple to the old one. So Goldu, it will be the temple that any of you can go for healing or magical guidance or anything like that, but Goldu, you will have like special abilities that you can use in the temple that will be like your keep.
Nice.
There's also like the kind of like Wizard's Tower in the bottom corner, and then this is you guys don't know what this one is yet. It seems to be some type of like empty magic portal or something. But over time, they will work on clearing this out and building it up as a stronghold for you guys throughout your missions and in between your rests and stuff while you guys are gone from the island.
So does that mean we need to like do anything right now in the place? Like, should we like explore the other areas? Or
It's all cleared out essentially. Like when you gave them the order to like go and clear out the nests and kill the bugs, like essentially it's that is now a background like side quest, and they'll take care of it. So this is
so we come back later and then we can check it out. Basically.
Yep. So it's just like Zadera's Bazaar, like in between your big missions, when you come back to the island to like regroup and turn in your main quest, essentially to like be meta about it, you can check on the store and they will have new inventory, and you can check on your strongholds. And like the map itself, I have this whole thing like Crosshead maps that I've been using for the campaign so far. There's upgrade pieces that I can add onto this map, and your strongholds will grow and be fixed more and more as you come back, and as you.
So we need to invest money or stuff.
You do, and that will come up later.
All right.
Can I quickly ask the dude for a heal?
So let me just explain to these guys really quick. We're kind of getting into a bit of a mechanic heavy episode, which is kind of cool. So these guys, they're the 4 goblin squad, and I have some cool ideas about this. The main one, Brack, is a hobgoblin forge cleric. He actually has a class. They're all level 5s, just like you guys are. Brack is a forge cleric, so he can heal you. He heals all of you back up to full really quick.
Eat.
The next one, Flack, is a goblin sorcerer. Clack is a goblin monk, and Grack is a goblin fighter. And hopefully this sounds like fun to you guys. I want to throw this idea at you for next time. But what would you guys think about doing like a one-shot episode of like a Funhouse style dungeon where you guys play as the Goblin Squad?
Oh my god.
Of course,
One, I
yes.
love Funhouse, and two, yes.
Hell yeah, dude.
Awesome. So next week, while you guys are headed to your next like destination for the main storyline, you
Oh my
will all
God.
be playing as the Goblin Squad.
It's gonna be great.
Filler episode.
I shot a clack.
So yeah, I was gonna say, so there's Brack, Flack, Clack, and Grack. There's a cleric, sorcerer, monk, and fighter, and you guys can take your pick, whichever one you want to play. I figured it'd be a fun like break. You could play a different class if you want to try one out, and it'll just be like a super like silly, funny episode. You'll play through a dungeon, like just a total ridiculous dungeon full of like puzzles and traps and stuff, like nothing serious at all. So we'll get a little bit of like a breath of fresh air in the campaign. So whichever one you guys want to play as, like, let me know. Cleric, sorcerer, monk, fighter. Any ideas?
I wanna play the cleric.
Okay, I'll note that down. So
I'll play the sorcerer unless if Samurai wants to play the monk.
I'll play monk.
You want to play monk? Okay, I'll be
there's
the
a
sorcerer then.
sorcerer, monk, fighter. So you want to do sorcerer?
Yeah, I want to do at least. Yeah, I'm already like basically a fighter, so I'll play something different.
Okay, so monk or fighter, samurai.
Monk.
Cool.
Monk.
Black.
Monkey.
And
Which
the
one's the spellcaster? What's his name?
Flack.
Black. All right, flat cannon.
And it's spelled like, I'll put it in the chat. It's spelled like this. All of their names are spelled like that. Brack, Flack, Clack, and Grack.
R.I.P. Joe.
Yeah, Joe. Joe was he was like a level 1. They just found him and he's dead. So,
Ack is silent in Joe.
yeah, exactly. It's spelled the same way. It's just pronounced Joe. Yeah. So I'm super excited. I'm glad you guys are interested in that idea. We'll take a quick break, I think, if you guys are down for that. We'll come back at 8:30, and then we will 8:30 my time, so in 8 minutes, and then we will get back into it, go back to the meeting with Tweed, and finish up for tonight. I am going to exit the Discord call for just 1 second and speak to the chat. We got a couple of new friends in here. I'll say hello to them, and then I'll go and grab some water, and we'll come back. So 7-8 minutes.
All right.
And then we'll reconvene.
Yep. See ya.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you've all been enjoying this so far. Sorry, we took last week off, so I've been having to rush to catch up on everything with everything that happened. I hope you guys loved the Goldu Goblin reveal. I've been waiting since like literally before the campaign started. Donald and I came up with that. Donald thought of the idea that he would be a goblin rogue in disguise as a halfling, and I thought it was the coolest idea I've ever heard, and I have been excited for that since day one, and we've been like planning the perfect time to kind of not only unveil it on the stream but to the other party members here. So I'm super excited that you guys are into that. So from now on, he will no longer have the halfling racial bonuses and stuff. He's now a goblin character, but he has this like magical disguise, so he can assume the form of the halfling if he needs to stay disguised or whatever. I think it's really cool. And that kind of shows you guys the like power of this game. If you want to really customize your character and make these cool backstories, just talk to your DM before the campaign starts, or even during the campaign, and say like, I thought of this really cool thing for my character. How can we work on this? And we've been working on it for a while, but I think it just turned out awesomely. Gusto, I'm so glad you're having a good time. Thank you so much for showing up and joining. It seems like you are acquaintances with Random British Dude. Awesome. He's one of my best friends on here. He's a fantastic guy. It's good to see all of you. RBD, Luca, Blitchy, great to see everyone. Thank you so much for showing up. You guys are the best. I am going to Howell, good to see you too, man. That's why I'm looking forward to your changeling. Dude, changelings are so dope. I have a changeling character designed that I want to play as in the future. Like a changeling ranger, I think would be super dope. Someone is in his chat said D&D, so you got curious. Very nice. Well, I'm glad to have you here, Gusto. Definitely stick around. We do D&D Wednesday and Thursday nights, so we have the Elder Council campaign. We're like halfway through, right in the thick of it. If you want to check out any of the previous episodes, you can check it out on YouTube. And we just started a couple weeks ago on Thursday nights a new campaign called the Deep Haven Horror, which is an like eldritch horror cosmic mystery type thing. We've only done one episode. We just started and we took last week off, so we're getting back into it. Episode 2 begins tomorrow night, so you can catch up on that and be totally caught up with the action for tomorrow night's stream. I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break, go grab some water, and pet the dog, say hi to the girlfriend, hang out for a second, and we'll be back in 5 minutes to continue the rest of the evening. It is right there, Howell. Thank you so much. Yeah, definitely go and subscribe over there. I'm planning on doing a whole series on how to get into D&D. I'm going to do like monster videos, like planning encounters, fighting monsters, what my favorite and coolest monsters are, how to be a DM, all that kind of stuff. I'm really into that. So more YouTube stuff coming soon. Have you ever done any of the Star Wars RPG stuff that Fantasy Flight makes? No, I haven't, but that sounds awesome. I love sci-fi. I would like to play that Starfinder game. I have the core rulebooks for that, but I've never played it. So maybe in the future we'll be doing some of that. I do love Star Wars, of course. The name and all this silly stuff. So I'll take a break for 5 minutes. Be right back. Don't go anywhere. Super happy to have you all here. Thanks so much. All right. Welcome back, everyone. Yes, thank you, Luca, for providing the link and kindness and all the help there. Gusto, welcome aboard, man. It's awesome to have you. And Howell as well for joining up. Much appreciated. Definitely join the Discord and all that good stuff. Cool. As soon as, let me see if everyone else is back in the Discord and we'll get going here. How's everybody doing? You guys enjoying the session so far? Everybody doing okay? Thank you so much for being here. Let me see if I missed any follows or action or anything like that tonight. Samurai resubbed for 10 months in a row. Thank you so much. Vampire King with the host. All right. We're good to go. Thank you so much, Howell. Appreciate it, man. Blitchy, you as well. You guys rock. All right, let's jump back in. Hello, hello, hello.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, everyone. You guys doing all good?
Something terrible happened in the last 5 minutes.
Okay, so we are...
The wind started looking back.
1 second. What was that?
I asked Vampire, is the wind came back?
Oh, yeah, no.
The wind come back? Yeah, his power went out for 5 minutes and then came back on at the perfect time.
Yeah, just the perfect time. Like, my computer just started up instantly without any updates. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, that is a fantasy right there, isn't it? Hey, we got a new follower, it looks like Gusto. Thank you so much.
Oh, what up, Gusto?
Oh, my girlfriend resubscribed as well, it looks like, and I missed it somehow. Well, awesome.
Missed it.
GG.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, we are good to go here. So the Goblin Squad has decided to follow you all into the depths of hell, or whatever comes first, and they will work on this area as you guys can all go back to town and do your business, and they will keep updates with you as you come and go in on your adventures and whatnot. And the leader, Brack, he hands you all this stone, this magical stone. He hands it actually to Goldu, and he holds it up, and he has another one, and he holds this stone up to Goldu, and he says, "This will allow us to keep in contact, my lord." And you look at it, and it's this stone with just like a blue symbol on it, and when you speak into it, the blue symbol like lights up, and it's called this Stone of Far Speech. And you can keep in contact with the Goblin Squad through the stones.
They have their own stone.
They do, yeah. Brack has a stone, and when you speak into it, he can hear it, and vice versa, so you guys can keep in contact with each other. And he says, we'll stay here. We prefer the temple, and we'll clear out the area for you guys so we can begin work immediately. We may venture into the town for supplies. Please, when you get back, let them know we're coming so they don't think we're invaders or anything like that.
Don't worry, homie.
And you guys are free to return for your meeting with the Elder Council before you head off on whatever adventure you choose.
So, Golden, were you ever going to tell us that you're secretly a Goblin King?
I'm a good goblin.
You're a God Goblin? I'm sorry.
Why, you never asked me.
It's true, we didn't ask.
And I didn't think, but whatever.
You guys just got to ask everyone you meet if they're actually a goblin in disguise, right? That's just,
or if they can conjure water.
That's just, yeah, exactly. That's just standard procedure, right?
Gotta ask everyone that, and then you ask them their name.
Yeah. Nice to meet you. I'm Chad.
Make water.
What are you hiding? Yeah.
Are you a god?
So they go about their business. You see a couple of them run off. The sorcerer launches this fireball up into the tree and burns it down entirely. And he's like, no nest in there. And he just continues to burn all these trees down. They're just like clear cutting this.
Keep the good work,
You know you're done when you don't have to put up the force field.
They're just clear cutting this forest. And Brack says, yes, good point. The force field. and he like grabs this little cube from behind the statue and puts it in his pocket, and then they just continue on their way. And you guys can head back to Aegis if you'd like.
All right, let's
go back.
get on my back, Goblin King.
Yes, I climb.
All right, pop the map back up on the screen there. So you return, and you can see the city is kind of like winding down. You've been out for a while. You had your breakfast, and then you spent the morning shopping over at Zadera's Bazaar of Wonders, and then the afternoon was spent dealing with these mosquito bat beasts, which those are a monster called the Sturge, and that's like an official D&D monster that I just think is really cool. If you guys want to check that one out in your own time, they're pretty awesome. You spent your time killing them and then meeting up with the Goblin Squad, so it's getting to be like probably like mid to late afternoon now. You get back to the town, you can see everyone's kind of like winding down. And you see Kit running across. He was out over at the bazaar, like maybe buying some food or something, and he runs across and he sees you guys, and he runs up and tries to high five Darrow.
Make a dexterity saving throw.
Wow.
He high fives Darrow, and he's like, "How was the ruins, guys? Did you find anything cool?"
Yeah, we found a lot out.
Goldu, you want to fill him in?
Goldu, you have taken off your disguise now. I think I've kind of decided you have this magical item, which is this mask that you can put it on and you're like indistinguishable from a halfling, but you don't have to wear it if you want. You can have it on or off whenever you want.
No
Yeah,
wonder you're
I
not
didn't
supposed to
put
be
it back
halfway.
on.
Cool. Yeah, you're just rocking your true form, finally feeling comfortable. You like take this mask off for the first time in probably months, and you're getting some fresh air on your nice shiny green skin. And Kit runs up, and when he high-fived Darrow, he was like super excited, and he immediately was like, "Did you guys find anything cool?" And then he looks over and he like blinks a couple times, and he's like, and he like almost like reaches for the sword on his back, but he like stumbles a little bit, and he's like,
Try me, bitch.
and he hears your voice, and he's like, "Oh my God, Goldu!"
It's King Goldu.
Yeah, that's our god, King Goldu.
And he like grabs his sword and he like puts it in the air, and he like kneels down, and he's like, King Goldu, and he's like a super excited little kid about it, and he's like, "That is so cool, man. How did you do that?"
I was born like this. You can't become as amazing as me with training. It's impossible.
Hard relate.
He just like grabs his face and he's like, "Dang, well, I'm gonna keep training anyways. Maybe I can be like Chad."
Yeah, you can be a good mount.
He stands back up and he's like, "Well, cool. Goblins are awesome. See you guys later. Tweed is looking for you. I think they want to do that meeting now. I'm gonna go back and hang out in my room." And he just runs off into the inn.
I called the Goblin Squad on my phone, and I found a new guy for the army.
Oh, Kit?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Brack signals back and he's like, "Send him our way when you think he's ready, and we'll initiate him."
Straight. Onward, still. And I kick him with the heel.
So you guys go into the inn that you've been meeting up with these people with, and they're around the same big table that you had breakfast with them at. And everyone is there, Vex and Tweed and Zadera and Elder. And they're all kind of huddled around Elder now, and he's like going over some of the maps that they have of the area, and all of these books are around. And Tweed says, No, we have to have all of them. And you surround them, and you hear them like in the middle of this conversation. Tweed says, "We have to have all of them for this to work. That's what the texts say. I don't know what they are, but we have to have them all. It says it won't work without all three." And
We're here now.
you say that, and he looks up and he's like, "Oh, hi, well, welcome. No, all three of the ancient artifacts, but we do need all three of you as well." Perfect timing. And you all sit down around the table, And Tweed
I told them about my new army.
Tweed sees Goldu and they all just like gasp, and Elder he can't see, and he says the goblin finally reveals himself. Welcome to the truth, Master Goldu. And
Gold.
he says, sure, King Goldu. And you all sit around the table.
Shokidero, oh sorry, Captain.
And they all are like amazed, but they're like, well, fascinating. It makes no difference, but why the half elf disguise or the halfling disguise? They say.
I was doing some nasty business and didn't disguise. Before I was rudely teleported into the shit world.
Vex laughs about that, and he says that makes sense, man. I imagine back in Faerun, there's a lot of places you can't go as a goblin if you're trying to be a businessman. So understood. And then they get back to their conversation, and Tweet says, so the 3 artifacts that I was talking about, we are going to have to gather them if we want to try to kill the Lich, but I think even getting to his own domain is going to be difficult, and we're going to need some more firepower, you could say, some more magical energy. Their names and functions have been lost to time, but we think we've kind of located the general area of these artifacts. They seem to be kept in these temples or tombs, places of ancient power that existed even before the Lich came to power here. And he explains that there is an artifact in a place called the Pyramid of the Infinite Mind in the desert that you guys came to this land from. When you came into the desert and you went west towards the coast, the other way is towards the Pyramid of the Infinite Mind, and it's this great pyramid temple with one of the ancient artifacts in it. There's the Amethyst Caverns in the Ashlands to the south, a dead forest filled with ancient mutated elves, and this like amethyst-filled cave that seems to have one in it, as far as the book says. And then Evo, thanks for the lurk, man. It's so awesome to see you. Thanks so much. The final artifact, Tweet says, and when he starts to read this one out of the book, he kind of laughs a little bit, and he's like, this one you guys aren't going to enjoy hearing. This one says it's on a circular island to the north, surrounded by mountains.
Bruh.
Sound familiar?
City
I'm
of
not going back
Chad.
there.
And he says this book is ancient. It has to be from before that civilization was built there, but there has to be some sort of ancient temple or something hiding on a different part of that island, and you'll have to go back there.
Are we sure that like there's no way it's like small enough that anyone could pick it up and put it on a ship and go anywhere with it? Because it's been there for a while, and that's a big city with like a lot of people. You know, it's like a marketplace. People sold it. It could have gone out of town. Someone could have lost it in the mud. We don't even know if it's there anymore.
So
Are you sure?
Let me see if I still have this
Like the
on.
voyage.
Hang on one second. Let me see if I still have this on my computer so I can throw it up really quickly. He pulls out a map of that island that Chance was on. One second, guys. I
We don't even know the island's name, do we? We just know the city.
You do know the island was called the Prince of Fate.
Oh.
Whoa.
Yeah, I do remember. You told us at the very beginning.
So here is the island that the City of Chance was on. And he pulls out this map and rolls it out across the table. And Tweeds points to the city, and then Elder chimes in and he says, the city's only part of the island. There's a lot of probably unclaimed territory. There's another small civilization that the books speak of, as far as Tweed said, to the north, and there's plenty of areas that there may be an ancient temple or dungeon chamber of some sort. There's definitely this artifact could still be undisturbed and hiding somewhere on the island. We imagine if anyone would have found it by now, it would be the Lich, and we would probably know about it if he had one of these items of power. They're so powerful. We would be able to find them with Tweed's magic. He can track magic pretty strongly, but we have the general areas of these. We just don't know what they are yet. But this is the one that we've kind of narrowed it down to these 3 spots, and there's definitely one back on that island.
Damn it.
Oh, what? Then I guess that begs a question: what do we hit first?
So when you say that, Elder speaks up and he says, "That's exactly the question. We really don't have anywhere to go off of. We have some information we can give you on whichever area that you so choose: the Ashlands to the south, the Pyramid of the Infinite Mind in the desert to the east, or to the north back on the island. We don't really know. We know where to send you, but we don't know what you'll be facing when you get there, so we can't give you any information other than to be prepared for anything."
And we don't know which artifacts are where. We just know there is a magical energy that's probably an artifact in each of these spots.
Correct. As far as Tweed's triangulation has found, there seems to be a large burst of magical energy coming from each of these 3 areas.
Yeah, like meta-wise, basically, I'm just trying to see if it's like Mega Man. Like we choose, like, do we fight like Guts Man first so we can get his weapon, or you fight like Grass Man because we want his?
So your thinking is on the right track. You don't know what it would be, but you can choose. It's now like this is now an open world game essentially. Like you guys have 3 choices and you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. Yeah, it's interesting.
And Vex chimes in now and he says, "So there's one more thing we can add to help you. There's the 4 of us that are not you guys in the council, and we can't all leave at once. We need to stick around to help run this place and make sure everything goes okay, but if you so choose, you can pick one of us to join you on each of the excursions, and we'll be able to come with and assist you in your battles or whatever you may face, but only one can leave at a time. If you choose Vex to go with you guys on whatever journey, then he won't be able to go out and scout for new magical items to restore the inventory with. If you choose Tweed to go with you, and I'll give you the information about all these characters, they're all their own classes and stuff as well. If you choose Tweed to go with you, he won't be able to do any further research on the Lich or anything while he's gone. If you choose Elder to go with you, there's some other things that will happen in the village that won't progress. None of the characters will train or improve themselves at all. Kit will not train in the village if Elder's gone. And you can also choose Zadera to go with you, the centaur barbarian. She's also a character and will go with you, and the store will just not be in operation while she's gone.
Take the horse lady.
I mean, we'll be gone when she's gone too, so like it doesn't matter then, right? For like the shopkeeper, because it's like we're gone and we're fighting, and then we come back to shop, then she's back with us.
Correct, essentially.
Okay. Because I was thinking she'd probably be the best one anyways, because she's pretty big and strong, but I was wondering if she had a big
So I said she was a barbarian. She's like from a barbarian tribe, but her class is not barbarian. I didn't mean to be confusing about that. I was just thinking about it. But
I'm sure whatever she is.
She is essentially a martial class. I think she's technically a ranger. I'll have to look. I have all their character sheets somewhere else.
I don't know. I guess it'd be best to take her or Kit.
We can take Fling with us.
Yeah, first mate Phil, he will be going with you as well. Wherever you choose to go, you'll be going on the ship, and he'll be helping captain the ship with Darrow.
Yeah, I think he just always is our friend now.
Yeah, he's like your guys' transport, and if you need to bring anything big back or whatever, he won't help with the fighting. Like, you can't take him as an NPC with you, but he's like on your team now for sure.
We'll stay on the boat basically while we're doing stuff.
Then we need to take this to horse lady.
It's up to you guys.
So I'd say probably like it's best to grab Centaur Lady or Elder. I think they got the best stuff.
What's the
for us.
benefit of taking Kit?
So, did you say from taking Kit?
Yeah,
You-
so we can take Kit, right?
You can't take Kit. So Kit's gonna be part of the like Goblin Squad. So, in the future, once he gets trained up high enough, and like I said, he will only train if Elder is in the village. Once he gets trained up high enough, in future like one-off like Goblin Squad episodes, when you guys play as that crew, Kit will be an available character to play.
Gotcha.
But you can choose from Vex, Elder, Tweed, and Zadera. Vex is the ranger. Tweed is the artificer. So that's a new class for D&D that they just came out with recently. It's like a wizard who specializes in magical artifacts. They can craft cool artifacts and magic items on the fly, and they have like magical pets that assist in combat. They're like a mix between a wizard and like a crafter type of a person. Elder is a multi-class like warlock fighter type of a character, like an eldritch knight. And I think Zadera is actually a druid, like a melee focused druid.
Alright.
Sorry, what is Elder again?
He's a eldritch knight, if you know what that is. It's like like a wizard fighter.
Yeah, like a battle mage.
Yeah,
Hell
exactly.
Hell yeah, dude! I definitely want that on my team. So yeah, I'm still kind of same feelings with him or the Centaur when we do missions.
Yeah, it's probably the best.
Because I want those legendary magic items in the store. Although the Ranger would be nice to have.
So you guys can choose which direction you'd like to head off first, and you'll hit the road and get going.
Hit the road, Jack.
Do you want to go north back to the Prince of Fate Island and possibly head back into the City of Chance and find the artifact there? Do you want to traverse the deserts towards the Pyramid of the Infinite Mind? Or do you want to go south to the corrupted Ashlands and fight the mutant elves into the forest and try to find the Amethyst Caverns for the artifact in that place?
I vote to go beat my people up.
I don't think
you wanna
going
go to
back
the cave?
I don't think going to Chance is a good idea.
You don't wanna
Maybe
go
the
to
leash is
Chance?
still there.
All right,
Yeah, it's definitely full of skeletons.
yeah. Let's do the caves first, and then we'll see what we want to do next. Let's do that.
Cool.
All right.
So you guys have locked in the Amethyst Caverns, and I'll just give you guys, just so you know, essentially like the video game side of this. Like as you guys go and choose one mission, like everything else like levels up and scales with you as you go, right? So like you'll go and do the caves, it'll be a level 5 adventure. And then when you come back, if you're level 6 or 7 or whatever, then the next one you go do will still be, it'll be like your level. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Because since we get to choose, it's not going to be like, this one's level 7, this one's level 10.
exactly. Like if you
then we'll
go
be
to the
screwed.
pyramid's not going to be a level 10 thing right now.
Just go there by
Like, oh, you made the wrong choice. You're all dead.
See,
Yeah. So that's what will happen there. Which NPC like side character would you like to accompany you on your journey?
So we're gonna go do some caves. Who might be able to do some cool like ability checks that will help us? Elder or Centaur Druid? I think.
Not gonna lie, I do like the idea of having Vex with us.
I do think he'd be good, but I feel like he is so useful when he's not with us and he's doing like other things. Like he has so many things.
Yeah, I
he can
agree.
do.
Actually, You're
Speaking-
Nobody else has that value, right?
Speaking of Vex, welcome to the stream, Vex.
What's the Vex?
Yeah, so it's totally up to you guys. I'm not gonna give you any additional help
I
with
think
that, but
he's too valuable passively. I think he provides value no one else has, which is new items. So
Yeah, I
I
agree.
would keep him as cool as it would be to have him on our team. I actually think he'd probably be the best or second best. I just think it'd be better to have him as like a resource. Unless you guys
So-
really want him, then I'll go.
No, you made a good point.
Alright,
yeah,
well,
the most Smart thing you said.
Yeah. So you guys you want the centaur, see if she's good, or you want Elder and see how he fares?
Tweed is
No.
also an option.
I want to see if Tweed can like maybe like learn something so we know what the next one is. So we can choose: do we want this one or do we want that one? And then maybe we take Tweed next time if he doesn't give us enough information. Because we don't
Yeah, I
know what
don't
we're
wanna take
going
Tweed.
towards, so like he's researching the Witch Force, so hopefully like we'll know what
They
we're
don't
going.
even know what the three thing I use for, dude.
Yeah, because I want to know if we're going to choose the pyramid or the chance next, and hopefully Tweed will give us information to help us by the next time we're done this
Sure.
thing. So that's kind of my reasoning to not take Tweed for this one, but I'm down to take him for the other ones.
Cool. Zadera or Elder, you guys can all cast your vote.
I believe Elder's OP, so I'm gonna put my vote on Elder. I have a strange feeling it might be slightly OP.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Hell yeah, dude.
All right.
Plus, we pretty much haven't had any experience with
Plus,
Elder.
it makes the
outside
story
the
way
beginning.
cooler when we hang out with Elder. It's like, yo, man, we're with
He won't be able to read anything. He's blind.
Yeah.
But
Hey,
he's like Daredevil.
thank you, Vex, for the 100 bits, man. It's awesome to see you. We're doing really well. We've had an awesome session so far. A lot of really cool stuff has happened. These guys are just about getting ready to go on their next big adventure here. So just to speed through this, to get to a good stopping point, you guys choose Elder and you choose the Amethyst Caves of the Ashlands in the south, and you kind of finish up your planning with Tweed. And if you guys have any questions about it or anything next time, I'll answer them, and we'll just kind of retcon it in that you asked while you were at this meeting. But you guys go and you get on the ship with Phil, and he shows you to your quarters, and it's essentially like a big like galleon type thing like you had before, but it's like brand new, good shape. Still has no name on it that you guys can choose. Captain Darrow, you can choose the name of your new
Sea
craft. You board the Sea Dick, and you guys push off, and Elder accompanies you. You say your goodbyes as you leave town. You load up on your rations and food and supplies and stuff, and you head off. And as soon as you push away from shore and you teleport away from the like pocket universe that this island is in, and you're back out into Onhef, like the second that you leave, the camera, like the metaphorical camera, cuts back to Tweed, and he's like, "Damn, you know what? I should have told them about the legendary weapons that they could have gone and got before the damn artifact." And Vex and Kit, standing next to him, are like, "Yeah, you probably should have told them about that. That might have been helpful." And the goblins, who have now kind of like came into the city and introduced themselves, and they've explained to Tweed that they're like Goldu's followers and they'll be helping rebuild the stronghold. Tweed turns to him and says, "Well, Goblin Squad, how would you like to go and get some weapons for your friends?" And they are sent off on the first adventure, and Tweed explains to them that they have to go to White Plume Mountain, and they're gonna go and get the 3 legendary artifact weapons for you to kill the Lich with. And this, just like outside of the stream really quick, White Plume Mountain is an adventure that was written, I believe, in the late 70s for like first like 0 edition D&D, like the very first. I think it was the first non-Gary Gygax adventure ever released for D&D. And it's not like any other dungeon. It's like you go in and there's this like silly wizard who's like, "I created this like funhouse carnival dungeon, and it's full of like crazy traps and stuff. And if you die, you just like restart at the beginning of the dungeon. And it's just like this fun like carnival ride of a hell dungeon, and it's awesome. And it's called White Plume Mountain, and the goblins will be playing through that next week.
Oh, hell yeah.
And
Nice.
at the end, if you survive, you get these like 3 like insanely crazy badass OP weapons. So it should be pretty cool. But that's what we have coming up next week. I'm super excited for it, and we'll have that whole adventure ready to rock for you guys. I've like totally scaled it up from like 1st edition D&D into 5th edition, and it's ready to go for a modern game, and I'm way excited. I'm going to be making all the maps that we need and everything for it throughout the week, and we'll play that next Wednesday. That is going to do it for today. If you guys have any questions or whatever, go for it.
One question. Just because I have like a mental map of like where the artifacts are. There's one in like the desert to the east because we were in the west.
That is where you guys came from. Yep.
Yeah. So the east is where the pyramids would be, and then you're saying the city of Chance, wherever that island is,
to the north, north of the island in the middle of the like ocean where you're at right now. Yeah.
Yeah, so like kind of somewhere around that area, but like where exactly are these caves in this forest? I just don't know like where we're actually at.
Let me see if I have a map of the whole world here. I think I have like a really crappy version. Yeah, Gusto, I do make the maps myself. Some of the in-combat battle maps I get from a place called Crosshead Studios from a guy named Bert who designs them. He has a Patreon. Go check him out. He's awesome. Let me see if I can add the map here. I think I had a bad like basic version of it. Let me see if I still have it anywhere, and I can show you guys. Okay, so this map of Faerun, hang on one second. If you can, it's hard to see. This is a map of Faerun, which is like the place before Anhef. It's the place that got like destroyed, right?
Yeah.
So
the alternate reality.
So the desert in, I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm gonna put it like right equal to me, directly across like that big desert part right there. If you can read the map, it says Kalimshan.
Yeah.
That is the desert that got turned into the desert that you guys teleported into when you came here.
Okay.
And then in the middle of the water right there off the coast is the invisible island that you're on right now. And then to the north, that big green section that like juts out into the water that's like still connected.
Right.
That got destroyed and broken off, and that turned into the Prince of Fate Island with the City of Chance on it.
Cool.
So directly to the south across that big bay of water where the like there's like the two green spots and then the white spot in the middle. That's the Ashlands where the Amethyst Caves are at.
Oh, all right, cool. That's exactly what I wanted. Thanks.
Yep.
Actually,
I'll have the
map
actual version of the map for you at some point. But
so we're going south.
Yes. So, yeah, next week we'll tune in and we'll hit up the Goblin Squad for an adventure, and then everything the week after that will be ready for you guys to hit up the next section of the Elder Council campaign with the Amethyst Caves. I needed this is helpful. I wanted to do the like Goblin Week just for fun, and I thought you guys would enjoy playing like the alternate characters and classes and stuff. But because I gave you guys the choice of what you wanted to do, I needed a little bit of extra time to get that all prepared because I couldn't get like 3 dungeons ready in a week, Yeah,
exactly.
So now that I know which one you guys want to do, I'll get it finalized and ready for the next time we play. But next week we'll be back and we'll be playing the Goblin Squad through White Plume Mountain, which will be super dope.
G Squad.
So let me switch back. I'm gonna hang up the call now, and we'll raid somebody on the stream really quick and call it a day. Don't forget, everyone, we will be back tomorrow at the same time with episode 2 of the Deep Haven Horror, which is our new campaign featuring Donald Goldu from this campaign playing David Baldoff, the Human Knight of Fate, a custom class I designed for the game. Super excited to get into that. We haven't played in a couple weeks, and we're just at the beginning of it, so it's getting good. So thank you guys so much for all of the help and for hanging out. Let's do a raid, and thanks for playing tonight, you guys. You killed it. It was awesome. I'm so glad the goblin reveal worked out as well as it did. Can't wait for next week. Thank you guys for playing.
So much out there. You surprise us every week.
Bye-bye.
All right, see you guys next time.
Later.
All right. Howl, Luca, Blitchy, Gusto, thank you guys so much for being here. Vex, you're awesome. Appreciate those bits again, man. Thank you so much for the support. Let's find somebody cool to raid, and we'll be done with this business. Let's see. Who is on? Let me see here. Do any of you guys have any friends that are currently streaming that you'd like me to raid? I don't do this very often, but I don't have anyone that I want to pass you guys off onto right now. The only person that I'm following that's streaming right now has 3,000 viewers currently, and they will not even notice the raid, so it doesn't matter. And they're 20 episodes into a campaign, so I don't want to drop you guys off in the middle of a campaign and spoil it. But MCDM, check them out. Their campaign called The Chain is the best D&D content in the world right now. Vesever is a person that has been to my channel before, and I think I've met them through Random British Dude. I don't think I've ever raided him, though. He started raiding someone as soon as I got here, however. Last Black Spartan. It's an interesting one. We'll raid somebody real quick, and then we'll call it a day. Thank you guys for the patience and hanging out. I had a wonderful time. Grizzly Guy Gaming. Never heard of that one. Let me check out Last Black Spartan real quick. 55 followers. Let's get him a boost. Give him some new friends and family. Luca, do you vouch for this person? Is it a person that's worth rating? Gusto, absolutely. Thank you for coming by. I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. And definitely don't worry about the posting like a wall of text or whatever. I'm into it. Be as active as you want. I'm into it. I'm definitely down to learn all about that stuff. I'm looking forward as well, Hal. Thank you so much. Cool. Last Black Spartan. Let's raid this guy. Seems cool. He's playing some League, which Vampire's into. Maybe Vampire will make a new League friend here. Last Black Spartan. And let's get some hype going. He was playing Final Fantasy. Cool. Seems like a cool dude. I'm into it. Let's go say hello and give him some love. I'll see you guys tomorrow night for the Deep Haven Horror. Sunday, we'll be back into the world of Zelda. And I can't wait to play more of this game. I love it. I don't want to wait, but I got to wait so I can play with you guys. We'll play more on Sunday. And let's hit up the raid. See you guys over there. Please, everyone, join in. It helps out so much for them and for me. So we'll see you guys there. And I'll be back tomorrow night.
What the hell? Ooh, what was that? Oh, I got a host. Oh, I got a host.
Ooh.
Oh, what up, everybody? Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's another night, bitch.
Oh, what's happening?
I don't know nobody.
It's a raid. They raided me.